All right, all right. I think we are live. How is everyone doing today? So, this is going to be the first episode of Out of the Hug Box. We've got 3 guests here with me today. We're going to be talking about one of the issues that's come up with some of the anti-woker Atraes. Let's go ahead and introduce everybody here. We'll start with Mcdizzle. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Oh man, I'm a huge RimWorld fan. Yeah, huge. Oh, and then one of the other 3 people we have here is Nobody. I think a fairly well-known anti-woker. Apparently is on quite a few pages of the Alyssa McConte. Apparently they can't hear Mcdizzle. Really? Let me. Oh, it's my audio. Of course. Hold on. Let's see. It's probably just set on the wrong. It's a settings thing. I had a full stream where I was going over the cowboy guy and his comments, and the entire stream my mic wasn't working. So, so it's just a whole stream of me stopping, it being silent, and then restarting the video. As you know, I am famous for having oh, yeah, that would be why my audio is set for my microphone. Boom.
Oh, I need that desktop audio on.
Yeah, I need that desktop audio on. All right, try again, Mcdizzle.
Hey there, Mcdizzle Gaming here. I've been on YouTube for, I don't know, about 4 years. Little pandemic thing that started with, covering Red Dead Online, a lot of Rockstar game content, analysis. Started doing some cultural commentary shit, talking about crowdfunding scandals, other things. All good times, all good times. Playing a lot of video games right now, enjoying it. But that's all you get.
That's fair. All right, with the next guest is Nobody. As I was saying, someone who is apparently very prominent in the Alyssa McConte case, or as evidence. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, I go by Nobody, and I only made a few videos on Alyssa McConte, and as I said, I ended up at 12 pages of it. Seems kind of like for no reason. But anyway, yeah, I'm glad to be here. I took content creation seriously in the last few months, and recently got partnered on YouTube. So a lot of good things going on.
Nice, congratulations. And then finally, last but not least, not able to get his VTuber running, but we got Dash Attack. Same thing. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey everyone, Dash Attack here. I'm just a raunchy, edgy VTuber that loves video games. I'm currently playing Bravery Default on Switch 2 and Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii.
Nice. Metroid Prime 3. Is that the new one that just came out?
No, it's the one that it's the lead up to the one that came out. It's been a big gap between sequels.
Nice. Oh, Nobody just dropped out. Camera on us. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm still here. I just turned off the camera for a second.
Yeah, not a problem. So anyway, what we're going to talk about today is going to be the Atraes demonetization, everything around that. Talk about some YouTube TOS. To start out, let's go ahead. What is everybody's individual opinion on it? Let's start with Dash. We'll go backwards.
Well, from what I understand, and I'm not 100% sure, but it seems like Alyssa McConte and some of her supporters are on a mass flagging campaign to anyone remotely tied to either Smash JT or Hypnotic, and since Atraes is on the Griffcast, and he has actually made videos talking about Alyssa, that made him a proper target. So, I guess his videos got flagged. I don't know what he said in any of the videos that YouTube found a problem, but, he got hit.
Okay. What about you, Nobody?
Well, it was definitely surprising. I'm definitely aware of Grip God. I've Atraes, and we haven't spoke that often. We've DM'd a few times. Every once in a while, I'm able to watch one of his videos. Kind of the main thing I know about at least the 3 videos that were flagged. I know Smash said that he watched one of them. He said that was fine, but there was one, even Atraes admitted this in one of his latest videos addressing the situation, that he's like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna give YouTube that one. So I'm not quite sure, like, if something about how the title had something to do with her clapping her cheeks for money. Yeah. So the thing, I mean, the thing is, like, come on, dude, you're on YouTube. On that one, I'm like, bro, like, you don't get a black pass on YouTube for that one.
You gotta be careful with anything regarding sex.
Yeah. So right now, honestly, I'm not too sure, because right now, as we could all see, I'm not sure if my direction, at least in this conversation, is necessarily going to be a debate about whether Atraes should have been demonetized. I'm kind of wondering, because right now there's this multi-streaming platform war, and YouTube is trying to stay out of it, but with a lot of YouTube's decisions outside Mercante and Atraes, Ryan Rother at they, it seems like a lot of people are getting fed up with the basically a 2-tiered system. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And when I say 2-tiered, I mean, especially for YouTube, multi-tiered in various situations. Who's that guy, Douglas, or John Douglas, who was reading books and everything?
I've had him on my channel. I still don't know. Apparently, I heard a rumor that it's because he had Ryan on his channel, and that kind of scares me because I've had Ryan on my channels.
Yeah, so he did address this. What he said was, and I've never seen this happen before, but essentially because he had Ryan on his channel almost a year ago, they misconstrued and thought that he was platforming him right now after he was banned. Yeah. So the thing is, honestly, I know that we came on here for a debate, but I think I'm not quite sure where we're going to land on this, because I think it's more like a platform situation, more so than it is like an Atraes one. At least that's kind of where I'm approaching right now. I mean, you never know, someone might piss me off.
Hey, Nazmir, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Atraes is just the kind of the kicker off with this. I think we're going to talk a lot more about the streams and things like that. Mcdizzle, what is your opinion on it?
And this will actually echo a little bit about what Nobody said around the platform pieces. I do think there's disconnect in between what people think YouTube is and what they want it to be, because it has a really broad terms of service that it's probably not applied evenly, and I think that's across the board for just about every platform, probably except Rumble. Which, on the flip side, Rumble just doesn't have the audience of YouTube, although it's growing, et cetera, et cetera. My thoughts on it are, if you put yourself in that position with drama content, and that's one of the risks of drama content, and one of the risks that if you're going to engage in it, you could risk getting some shit when your content's talking about people. And I feel sorry for Atraes in his circumstance, because he's not the only one person that's done that. There's lots of other people that have done that. They make content about talking to people. They could arguably be breaking the terms of service. They're not getting penalized necessarily. But I think there's a lot more visibility that's happening on it. You have Smash tagging YouTube on things. And, he himself has had to take videos down recently, or private them. I'm not sure what his motive might be, whether he's editing them, removing things that he might be concerned about TOS, but it is broad enough that it could. I probably have content that could be TOS breaking. You know what I mean? If you dig around enough of it, and Who becomes the arbiter of that, right?
Yeah, like the language is vague enough that, and the thing is, it even says that in the TOS that they can essentially obliterate any of our channels at any time,
for any reason.
Hammer of for any fucking reason.
A lot of companies have clauses like that, that everything is up to their discretion.
Yeah,
right.
You live by the sword, die by the sword, almost with it.
Yeah. Well, I think when it comes to this kind of stuff, on Atraes' side, I think there's 2 videos that are definitely, like, from listening to him talk, we're probably breaking the TOS. I don't agree that it's a mass campaign. I do agree that Alyssa McConte went in and mass flagged. I think the airbagged accounts that aren't airbagged, that are saying things about flagging accounts, like, that came after. I think Alyssa's initial one. When it comes to, like, that kind of content on YouTube where it's so open-minded, I think there is a unwritten rule that most people, you don't use the harassment system, right? Just because somebody criticized you. You hear these kind of things blowing up all the time. And yeah, I think that's a problem with the TOS in general. But do we want to listen to that portion of Atraes' video before we get into the content?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I have it ready here, pulled up.
I think we're all going to be in more so agreement than we thought that we were going to be when we come in here.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to come in here and get called names, but but I think we can argue. We can definitely get into some of the TOS stuff. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom.
God, and while you're
because I know me and Mcdizzle have gone at it like a couple of times on X.
People do. Twitter brings out the worst in people at times.
Oh,
really
no, so here's my take. Like, just Smash JT, I know everyone thinks that we're attached at the hip, but no, but like, I kind of know his process a little bit from talking to him, and this is what I guess if I were him, and again, he hasn't told me anything about this whatsoever. So what I do know is that like, all these airbagged accounts are literally just finding the smallest things, even though they're true. Like, on one of them, they say that, she's she said that she sucked dick. So like, literally sometimes he even puts the timestamps. It's like 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and he's just telling his supporters just to go and mass flag that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in that case, it's like, okay, what's YouTube TOS going to do? Is the AI going to do something? Is the algorithm going to do something? It's incredibly uncertain in that case. So if you're in the middle of a lawsuit and you know that this airbagged guy is going to be using his audience to go after you in the name of Alyssa Mercante, he quit his job and he adjusted his entire life, to be a full-time YouTuber. You want to protect that, even if it's right. Even if there's a chance of, his YouTube channel getting shut down. I mean, we've already seen Ryan Roger Athey and what happened there. And yes, we can all agree that he definitely pushed the limits. Okay. If not leaps and bounds, jumped across them. And I'm glad he's on Rumble where he can say whatever the hell he wants. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, that's great for him.
Yeah. So the first thing I say, good, finish it up.
Okay. And plus, like, I've personally seen Alyssa Mercante ask for her supporters to mass flag other creators as well. Like Toasty with the Mosty. Like, I think I've seen like 3 or 4 or 5 tweets somewhere around there. I think I have one saved in my computer somewhere of her saying, "Hey, go ahead and mass flag." And I bet you majority of her supporters have never watched a Toasty do the Mosty. Like, I've actually ran into people that
Toasty's pretty chill. Like, so like, for her to like go after her like that is.
That one, Toasty is the outlier for me because I don't know much about her content. First thing I want to say though is, like, the legion of airbagged, as Vince likes to put it.
The airbag army.
The airbagged army. I have a we'll say insider on Airbag's account, and he's not the one released, at least not on his Discord and things like that. A lot of these airbagged accounts are just trolls that took advantage of that point in time where everyone was making them, and now they're doing things about it. One thing I get annoyed at is a lot of the anti-wokers out there will immediately, they'll say, like, I think Smash did it with one of the most obvious troll accounts that was actually an anti-woke account that added Airbag's picture to it. And yeah. So
Well, it does get a little muddy though. I mean, obviously I'm biased for Smash JT, but every once in a while you're like, are they trolling or are they not? It's one of those things, like, because like the main Airbag account right now, he'll like the posts that are criticizing him, and you're just like, wait, what are you doing? So, I mean, I will give Airbag one thing: he is one hell of a troll. I will give him that.
he can be funny. Yes.
I mean, if I wasn't in the middle of it, I'd probably be in the background with popcorn, to be like, this is interesting here. Like, I think it's like, I don't like to, like, I know that, I can see why people would call me anti-woke, or a lot of us anti-woke. I think, like, the thing is, what I like to say, it's not left, it's not right, it's what's reasonable. And for me, I'm just kind of looking at this. I'm like, yes, it's kind of like what Mcdizzle was saying earlier about, hey, there's the idea of YouTube of what you want it to be, and then there's the reality of it. Right. But also at the same time, we're probably going to have this discussion of, kind of the TOS doesn't seem to be, and we could talk about Twitch and all that jazz.
Oh yeah, definitely we have to talk about Twitch. It's very relevant right now.
I think we'll get there just because we're more so in YouTube land. But the thing is, like, the TOS seems to have schizophrenia, let's just say. Sometimes you think that it's on the left side, and then all of a sudden you kind of think it's on the right side, but then it like really hammers in that it's on the left side. Like I say, it has schizophrenia for a reason, because so much of it is the algorithm and not people. So that, I guess that's what scares a lot of people in this case.
Yeah. Well, go ahead. Okay. So yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead, Mcdizzle. Go ahead. You got the thought. I can wait.
I'm just gonna say, like, as you mentioned, it kind of bounces back and forth, but that's telling me that I don't know if YouTube has specific. Obviously, there's people within YouTube that probably have specific political leanings. But even if we look at recent actions, we've seen like anti-woke creators get demonetized and shit like that. But we've also seen Alyssa Mercante's video get taken down, and probably for a right reason in that case, an annoying reason, like an email address, I think it was. But it seems to be going both ways in most cases. So I don't know if political is like the delineation between them.
Well, see, here's the thing, like, and this kind of raises a different kind of question, is that how did someone at the time, because she said this, when her video got taken down, she has 1.9 thousand subscribers, and she already has, and now she has like 2.01 or something like that, or 2.1. She has a YouTube contact. She has a channel manager. And now,
she said she had contacted YouTube. Was that her wording exactly? I think it was like my contact at YouTube.
She emailed her YouTube contact. So there's two different ways that you can call your channel manager.
Journalist connections to get that contact.
Yeah. So the thing is, like, that's the thing. Was this a left-leaning ideology thing, or was this because old traditional media status was able to get that for her? Like, thing is, we don't know what the answer to that question is. We just know that she has a YouTube contact, and they were able, because I know it's her channel manager, because if they tell her the timestamps of what she did wrong, that means that's her channel manager. Just like Smash JT can ask a channel manager, just like Hypnotic, just like a lot of people that are usually like minimum like 50,000 subs or more. Usually I've seen is that when you can typically maybe get a channel manager, you usually definitely get one over 100K, but Smash didn't have one even after 100K subs. And posting, making a lot of money on his, well, not a lot of money, but definitely more than us, on his live streams. He's doing pretty well. He's
way
killing
out
on
of my line of expertise. I didn't even really know too much about this whole manager thing.
Well, it is kind of old news, but is this something worth touching on? I guess.
I just want to comment on that too, based on what I know anyway. Like I saw the verbatim that. I've emailed my contact, and I have to see what the exact verbatim is. I took it as, did she contact YouTube and she's having like a dialogue and she's considering that a contact, or is it something special? Because if it's something special, I don't know. Be good to know though. It might be something good to ask her. But I don't think I'd be surprised if she had a special contact at YouTube.
if she was able to get timestamps, that usually, at least in my spidey senses go off and go, no, that's a channel manager. Channel managers do that, and that's kind of a privilege only for. And I think that's the kind of the thing that if we're talking about how these platforms are running themselves. See, the one thing that I've always understood is that the internet is very democratized, or at least kind of better than in most systems, even when it can get very draconian at times with these platforms. But when I'm looking at YouTube and you see kind of a rising star happen, or you see someone that's really grinding and they get to like 80,000, 100,000 subs, like here I am, like 2,600 subs. I look at 100,000 subscribers, I go, that guy deserves a channel manager, right? But when I look at Alyssa Mercante already having a channel manager, I go, I mean, presumably that, well, we really don't know, but that's where I kind of lean on it. I go, hold on, she hasn't proven shit. I have more subs than her, and I did it in less time.
Yeah, here's the thing with this whole thing for me.
Yeah.
Is a lot of this stuff talking about her having a channel manager and all that other stuff. People are talking about sounds schizophrenic. Like when you talk, I want to hit on like the timestamp things. Anyone can go into a video and find a timestamp on something. I did it with just now with the Atraes video, and a lot of times if you're going to get a video taken down, they want the timestamp that it's going to be. Now, what can happen is on the back end. So for harassment, you have to flag it. From my understanding, harassment is not an auto done. So that's where I say Alyssa did at least flag the video. I don't know if it's mass flagged, but I believe she did flag the video. The content creator, the system will then go in and look for,
Did she have her video mass flagged by Asmongold?
Possibly.
I'd have to look at exactly what he said.
I don't think it was Asmongold. I think it just got taken down right away.
I actually know I know it's for a fact because I'm part of the story. So so Krusty the Sock, that's my Reddit account. I'm the one that did the screenshot, said you can't make this shit up, and then that's where he got his spiel. I was like, no, I think it's like that was like 10 hours. Like 10 hours later, I like go back to Reddit and I'm like, what? There's 1,000 karma points on this, and so I quickly go to his Twitch and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, and it's probably a thing with mass reporting. But when you talk about like the timestamps and things like that, that's where it's either one of two things. It's the automated system finding something that thinks hits the thing for harassment, or it's some poor Indian dude in a call center who's looking at like a short clip that the computer has shown him and then reading the terms of service and going, yeah, that works. It doesn't change to like a higher hand until like in some of the cases where people at YouTube and it gets sent to their internal office. So a lot of people will be like, did you watch my entire video? Well, no, the Indian guy didn't watch your entire video. He watched that 30-second clip that falls under TOS. So
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually not claiming this, but I can imagine it because Alyssa Mercante, and remember, I'm just doing the best of my recollection. I believe she had a tweet where, God, what was it? That they told her it was it, and one of the reasons that it was flagged is that Google doesn't will flag like Gmail, like if it says a Gmail account, it tries to see if like the rest of the emails there like automatically.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't behoove me to be like, it says its own Gmail account, it's on a YouTube video, it's talking about harassment, flag like that. I could see mass reporting. I don't know. I think more people were interested in disliking it because when she did her re-upload, she forgot to hide the like and dislike counter. And I'm actually the one to give her the reminder, like, hey, you forgot to turn it off. And it was over a 50% ratio. But I do want to hit on something real quick. But the thing is, like, Smash JT, 114,000 subscribers, they wouldn't tell him on his Alana Pierce video. They would not tell him until he got a channel manager. And she has emailed the channel manager like a few times. It's like, hey, if I just blur this out, like, can I put it up? Alyssa was able to get that answer same day. He's been waiting for over a week and a half. So, like, And the thing is, like, I'm not sure. Is this like a left-leaning thing? Is this like maybe YouTube's just very busy that week? I mean, they're always busy. They're YouTube. They're the biggest platform in the goddamn world.
My theory?
What's up?
My theory is that perhaps like through her connections with like Kotaku. So you see, Alyssa did have like some connections like within the gaming industry. So her getting like connections within like Silicon Valley isn't like a far stretch. So maybe she has like one guy, like just one guy, you know, obviously like with
It could be a lot of things.
Yeah,
that's what sucks.
Like, the thing is, like, we don't actually know. We don't actually know how much power this one guy actually has, how much he's actually helping her, or any of that.
Yeah, I think that's the problem I have with a lot of this is there's a lot of really deep conspiracy theories on that YouTube is searching through all of y'all's videos to search for the ones that she dislikes. And I don't think that. I think Alyssa
No.
I think Alyssa can't stop.
They're being flagged. They are being flagged.
I don't think YouTube is like actively going like after like our community's channel or anything like that. To us at least, it's pretty evident, especially between Airbagged and what she has done. I could pull out a tweet right now of her. I'll send it to you, where she says to her audience, mass report this.
Yeah, and you don't need an inside person for that.
Well, then it's not conjecture anymore. We don't even have to even think about YouTube at that point.
Oh yeah,
like
what's good about them is that they love to brag about what they're doing.
Yeah. Let's pause on that though, because that's something I was thinking about earlier, because I've seen a lot of the conversation around mass reporting, and I'm like trying to understand where that fits in the TOS, let's say specifically of YouTube. It seems like, if you encourage brigading on YouTube, that could be breaking TOS. If I remember correctly, like I swear there's a brigading section.
I have it up.
Yeah, it says something. So you have it up, the brigading piece?
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, send it.
But it's very similar. Hold on.
Well, no one ever uses the word brigading.
But yeah, one point here though I want to make, and this is the thought that I had, is saying like this video is if Alyssa says, hey, I feel this video is defamatory or harassment, don't interact, please report it. Is that mass flagging? It could be. I'm curious on the thought, like, what, or is mass flagging what that Salmon Sass dude is doing, which is like, what's the line? Is saying to report something mass flagging? Do people have the right to do that? Is it just a shitty thing to do? Is it bringing there?
Yeah, the thing is, it's like, and this kind of goes into a little bit of where I do actually feel for YouTube, because at the same time, it's like, oh, they might see it. Smash JT said, hey, she said on Twitter that she, sucked D. And YouTube, even if it does get to a human reviewer, they don't know the context. They don't know that she tweeted that. They don't know that she used to be a cam girl. They just see a guy that said, she sucks D. So it's like there's a lot more context to a lot of this stuff, and that's what Tectone, I think, was talking about nailing today.
YouTube uses so much automated systems. Like, it's so hard to just get a human. Like, when I was applying for monetization, like, I couldn't get any help on why I wasn't getting approval. And so I had to like basically do my own research and like private and delete like a ton of videos that would fall under the category of used content. And then like, eventually I got approved. So like I had to figure that shit out all on my own.
Vincent says
videos, right?
Yeah, no, they didn't. I had to figure it out on my own.
Yeah, generally it's that way. Vincent said Salmon, whatever that guy's name is, who uses an @airbag, is the one who focused on Ryan.
He's talking about Salim Abu Baker. Remember the whole spear checker shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't. He didn't get deplatformed over Speargate. Like,
no, I doubt it.
So I can tell you right now, out of everyone that got demonetized or deplatformed, Ryan's I knew was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. The dude constantly,
Even
Yeah,
hypnotic,
he
you
just,
know,
like-
like he pushes the boundaries. I'm on his show, like, you know, and now like on Rumble, he's like the gloves are off. He's
Good for him.
he's happier than ever.
Yeah,
Tell you,
he's
quality
actually having the
content-
time of his life. Good for him.
What I want to see from Ryan, the quality content. Here's my problem with him. I watched an interview. I haven't watched a lot of Ryan's content. Like, I know he's done some nice things for YouTubers. Like, if I, you know, kind of step away and kind of think of some of the things they said that I didn't really like. He has his Rising Star shit, stuff like that. That's great, right? You know, lift people up, all that stuff. But on the flip side, I watched an interview with him and Mike Hollow after the Spear Chucker thing, and the dude's attitude saying he would call people darkies to their face. That's the content I want to see. Go outside and do that, man. I'm not a violent guy, but I've seen people get slapped around for, like, I live down in Louisiana, man. I don't live there now, but I've spent time around, and people get real cocky online for saying shit that they wouldn't say in person, and I do find that pretty cowardly. Like, seeing him say I get
The internet.
Yeah.
It's the internet, man. But saying that he would say it in person, I'm like, I want to see that. Go do it, man. Stand on your fucking business. Go down, you know, put a big sign on yourself like Die Hard 3 when Bruce Willis was like, I hate N-words. Say it out there. See what happens, man. See what happens.
Yeah,
Gary, yeah, I do wonder, like, if he actually does do that, like, outside of his outside of the frame of his Rumble screen. But I honestly don't know. I just know, and that's what a lot of us are, right? Like, we only know, like, we're only at the very least familiar with each other with our personas online. Like, when I'm doing my videos, I'm, you know, I mean, I have an acting background. I was a theater major and all that. Like, I kind of, you know, I put this character up, and, you know, I'm a little bit more bouncy, but it's actually during live streams I'm more so myself. And it's like, and when it comes to Ryan, I'm like, is he doing that here or there? I'm like, I don't know, and I'm not gonna ask. But I just know that he wants to make
some of what
he
he
wants to
does
do.
is just a dramatization of things, but
especially the things that are going on.
Like, you know, he's been nice to, like, even when he's like, you know, directing people to my like adults only account to
I think
for clicks.
I personally think
like that.
I personally think he just says it to do shock humor. I've watched after the Spear Chucker thing. I went and watched a bunch of his videos, right, just to see what's going on with this guy, because he was getting a lot of protection from a lot of those bigger creators about it. And I mean, it's not riveting content. He thinks he's made all the big YouTubers' career because he brings them on. And personally, I think Smash and Hypnotic and all those keep him around because all he does is glaze them on stream. They're covered. So, like, Ryan is not one of my favorite people. He's probably low tier.
Real throw YouTube. The circle jerk is real, man.
Well, you know, I got two people here who will probably disagree with me on most things, so not for everybody.
I mean, I'm just saying in generalities. I'm not saying specific. Specific. I think in generalities.
So let's do this. I want to watch this quick clip just to get back on track with Atraes, and we can start getting in. I think that's going to jump us into talk of the, you know, TOS, more talk of the TOS and where we think it is. I'm a big free speech guy. So let's pop over. Yeah. Boom.
At some point, you'll start to get older. Your titties will start to sag.
A little bit further back.
At some point, the first one was me commenting on Alyssa Mercante will eventually become irrelevant. And the comment that I made was, at some point, you'll start to get older. Your titties will start to sag. You know what I'm saying? Your ass will start to sag. You won't look the same. Your skin will start to sag. And this was a general statement referring to aging, period. It just so happened that it's in the context of being a woman. So some womanly organs were mentioned. I do not believe this breaks terms of service at all. You can find way more vulgar language on YouTube. Okay. Across all.
We'll stop there for a second because that's the first video. are the first video he's talking about. This one I misread it.
I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. How do I get the video up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll let me fucking stream, share screen. Let's try not to. Boom. There we go. There we go. Here we go. I'll start it over.
At some point, you'll start to get old.
Yeah, I was watching it on the
start to sag.
stream. I was pretty confused for a second.
Your ass will start to sag. You won't look the same. Your skin will start to sag. And this was a general statement referring to aging. Period. It just so happened that it's in the context of being a woman. So some womanly organs were mentioned. I do not believe this breaks terms of service at all. You can find way more vulgar language.
Sorry, can you rewind it? I was a little late clicking on it.
Across all spectrums. And this was a general statement referring to aging. Period. It just so happened that it's in the context of being a woman. So some womanly organs were mentioned. I do not believe this breaks terms of service at all. You can find way more vulgar language on YouTube across all spectrums. But I believe that these videos were mass flagged. But we'll get to that.
All right, so that's kind of the first video. I know he's going to talk about more here in just a second. My initial take when I heard this is I heard it differently. I thought he was talking about her dirty snatch, which...
Organs, though. What did he say about womanly organs in the preview?
Yeah, well, that's the question. Like, when he says that he was talking about womanly organs, was he talking about... was he talking about... her uterus, or was he talking about the titties that he mentioned earlier? Like, if it's just the first part and he's talking about her getting old, yeah, sure, I think that can be funny. I would like to hear something else. And even then, if he is making, I don't mind those kind of sexual jokes necessarily. It's how they're done, right? If it's just directly, like if there's, I guess, nothing else with it, and it's directly insulting her snatch for no other reason, then I might have, I can see it's breaking TOS.
Well, also at the same time, do you think, even though it would technically be breaking TOS, like Dash, if I start talking about how small, Dash's dick was, would that be breaking TOS? Technically. But also at the same time, YouTube ain't gonna do shit about that.
Yeah,
we all know that.
Dick shaming is a pretty common insult.
So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, if you're gonna be on the internet and you're gonna be a public figure, like, there is a certain amount of, like, if you can't take it, don't dish it. Like,
right.
There's a certain amount of that. Like, and the thing is, like, we've all seen, like, she has, like, had legit harassment. But even, like, if you look at Ron Coleman's latest motion of dismissal, like, he looks at the second addendum that so this is the third time the judge has said, you still don't have a claim, will you actually give me a claim? I'm giving you, this is the last time, I'm giving you enough room. And he even says in this last one, he goes, they're talking about all these fucking people who are also not Jeff Tarzia. None of them are Smash JT, so what are we doing here? So it's such a weird thing.
I wanna.
It's like different platforms.
Yeah, just this whole cry bully thing. Has going. It's right. Like, she said, "Come fight me." Like, she says that, like, she was like, all this started because she wouldn't talk about what Chris Kindred was trying to do to Kabrutus's his Steam group. And so, because, like, she wanted to present it in a specific light, and that's really, like, where the shit flinging really started. And now, like, even when she says she's being harassed, she'll continue to screenshot and reply to all these YouTubers. Like, normally when you're being harassed, you don't go ahead and, like, continue to poke the bear.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. Like, when you get harassed, you're very emotional about the whole situation. And there are people who just can't not say something, right? Like, does it make it right for 15 people to constantly make videos on all of her tweets because she has, like, I think she's she's, causing more. I went over this about Chibi too, and him causing more of his harassment. Sure, but when's the point that this is considered harassment? Right? Is it 50 videos? Is it 100 videos? Is it?
But well, is it harassment? For Donald Trump to be reported on every day? Either way, still you are putting yourself out there. You are making a on this. Put this,
if she had just
exaggerated example. Hold on, guys, I gotta take a shit.
Yeah, go ahead, go do your thing.
Yeah, but if she had just I don't know, kept quiet, these YouTubers would find the next big thing to clickbait off of. It's very easy. If you feel like you're getting hounded on to just go away. It's luckily I haven't not been the center of a lot of drama, but let's say for the next day, I end up in some sort of scandal and people start farming me for content. I guess what I do is I try and just continue my thing without really getting into it. I'd probably do one video, maybe giving my side of the story, defending myself, of course. But I wouldn't try and get revenge on everyone that tried to milk me for content.
Well, I don't agree with the video. Yeah. Well, I don't agree with the videos.
Let's say, wait till nobody gets back.
Sure. She shouldn't be. I don't agree with the mass flagging thing. I think it's reactionary. But she's not just getting people making tweets and videos about her. She was getting thousands of emails to her work and various works around her. She was getting, Smash put her fucking ass up on a thumbnail. This isn't just people. One thing I hear people say all the time is they're just giving her criticism. And it's clear just with the Atraes thing that it's not just criticism. They're talking about her body. They're talking about, what a whore she is. They're talking about her sucking dick, which we found out was not her that said it first, but was Smash that said it first, right?
No. She did say it first. She said it in a tweet.
No, he said it. Go ahead, because I'm pretty sure. I think Smash knows about, or not. I think Mcdizzle knows more about that.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time, and I'm sure you have too. Nobody, obviously, you're in the lawsuit, or your name's mentioned through a good part of it. To speak to a lot of this, I know people gave the background on how this started, and I agree. It started with that article. It started by making that you can't be racist against white people statement, which racism is a complicated conversation if you actually want to have it, but putting out statements like that.
And also a tattoo that says she hates men and that they shouldn't exist or some shit like that. It's like holy shit. It's like
I want to make sure I kind of get my piece out here. So totally get that. That's where it started. Makes total sense. And then she got localed, and that would have been in March of last year. For that piece, the article that was missing that information. The article was about what Sweet Baby Inc. does. She was a journalist, doing what you would expect a journalist to be. And then the war with Smash ensued. And like Ron Coleman said in his most recent video, this is a standard defamation case from his position. It does have that other stuff, like the scholastic terrorism shit. But from his position, even it's a defamation case between her and Smash. And going to the cock-sucking thing, I hope I know you don't get demonetized wargaming. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. I say worse.
I read, and I keep an open mind. I'll read it again. The timelines saying that she sucked dick don't seem to line up, and I'd be happy to be proven wrong. I know that, but the timeline saying sucking dick and then Smash saying she sucked dick for money, sucked dick for those type of comments. I don't want to mischaracterize exactly what they are. I'd have to see what they were. But based at least on the alleged complaint, that, that's tricky. If there's anything I think that might burn Smash in this case, it's that defamation bit. I don't know about the scholastic terrorism. They're trying to make new law. That's challenging, I think, for any new law. I think jurisdiction will be challenging. Like if
that's like the biggest hurdle. Doing my best to take the bias out of it. I mean, even Smash GT says that it's like the biggest hurdle is just the jurisdiction thing, and I like it's kind of weird because on one hand you have the internet, but they're also trying to establish jurisdiction. I was actually watching potentially criminal. He's a law tuber. I mean, he thinks that there's no water to swim in regards to this case for Alyssa Mercante, like whatsoever, at least in his mind. But I'm looking at this and I go, like, where's the there? If the judge is telling her lawyers to be like, you still don't have a claim.
Let's pause there for a sec, though. Nobody questioned about that. I heard you mention that earlier. My understanding is they had their initial complaint, and there wasn't feedback from the judge. Like, I've seen no feedback from the judge. And again, I might be misunderstanding, because if I go through Court Listener and I look at all the documents, it was Alyssa's team requesting to add more because they got more information. Because, like, for example, the most recent one, adding the piece about you to try to tie in the downstream kind of harassment piece, or the some of the more recent live streams. Like, I know some other things they added were apparently, and I haven't seen the stream, but allegedly a stream that's like members only now, mentioning that Smash and Ron saying that she wasn't a public figure, which doesn't mean that she's not, might not affect the ruling. Maybe the statement was mischaracterized. But yeah, there's nothing about the judge going back as far as I said. And this is from reading the complaint and kind of going through that third amended complaint. We did that in stream like a while ago. And again, my memory might be foggy, but it's pretty accessible, though.
So
Alyssa Mercante has said, well, I think the context of that was Alyssa Mercante has said over and over again that she's not a public figure. And because it's like, no, she keeps claiming this, but she is. I think that's the context of what it was. And the thing is, I don't trust these lawyers as far as I could throw them, because they literally made shit up out of nowhere.
Don't trust any lawyer, man. Don't trust any lawyer.
I'm like, what? Like, when I'm getting paid by? Where's my salary, man? Where's my salary?
So I'll preface it by saying I'm not a lawyer at all before I talk about this. But and I don't know if Alyssa Mercante would be considered a public figure or not when it comes to that thing. But there's only two reasons, or there's only one reason that she would be trying to get set up as a not public figures. It's a lot easier to go do defamation when you're not a public figure, right? If you're a public figure, you have to prove malice. So it has, and that's one of the hardest things. The two things that are like the hardest to do is, what are the damages, which I think she has that pretty much down packed. She lost her job at Kotaku, so she lost an income rank. But being able to prove that Smash JT specifically was malicious, I think is going to be a harder case. Anyway, I think we should pull it back, though, because we kind of got into Alyssa Mercante being bad. And in my opinion, like it's kind of like, yeah, she does bad things, but let's talk about kind of Atraes's side in this.
Track of more second war gaming with some breaking news. Just before we do that, I got some breaking news, and this might be a good discussion point. Do you mind if I add what it is? It's in your chat.
Yeah, I saw it. Go ahead and bring it out.
Billboard shit. So the new meta, the billboard stuff.
It's so funny.
It's threatening legal action, apparently, from what Damaged is saying.
Grumps is taking legal action?
Yeah, that's what he says he's doing, but he has yet to take legal action.
Yeah.
Grumps, like...
my lawyers.
Oh my god.
Grumps, come on.
Yeah, Grumps is a fucking retard.
The thing is, I have a lot of respect for Grumps, but sometimes he just steps on rakes. I'm like, bro, you're walking right into it, man.
I'm trying to find the tweet. Where does he say he's taking legal action?
Hey, Damage Sector, thank you for coming by the way. Can you drop that link in my Discord or to Grizzle or Vincent and those guys? But
see the chat.
I don't want to get too much into Grums because I could talk about Grums for hours. But
Listen, man, I dug in so deep, not into his personal stuff. That was the other thing. Like the other people were doing that shit, but I dug so into Ember last year, and I gotta say, man, he's one of the worst things in gaming. He is. The practices that he's done over the last 10 years has been fucking disgusting by any stretch of the imagination. And someone just saying finish your game, Grums, is just wild. The stuff that this guy's done within the crowdfunding, it's indefensible. No one's been able to defend it. I mean, I love someone.
I appreciate he tried to help me when I got lost my original Twitter X account. I do appreciate he did try and help me, but yeah, he's I started agreeing with him a lot. Like last night, just like I feel like he's kind of derailed a lot of the legitimate like conversations that came from Gamergate too, and you know it's not, he's no longer like really helping the conversation, and also he needs to finish his game.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would argue the opposite of that, but
Colt Cassie Cage called him out on that recent Bethesda the 3 women picture.
Oh yeah, he did no fucking research on that.
And she called him out. And what does he do? Blocks her. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, he blocked her. He blocked
money. That's all he wants.
Blocked a lot of people I'm friends with. So like that's another reason why I've just like I'm done. Like, you know, I don't even use him too much as a source anymore.
I think well, see, here's kind of my position. I do respect him. I really do. But also at the same time, I don't care like how many followers he has or anything like that. You know, his history. Like, I don't fucking care. If he's doing something that's kind of bullshit, I'm just gonna fucking tell him.
I mean, he's not completely a bad guy. He did try and like help me. He does like, it's just like, you know, the way he does things and like some of the things he tweets. That's it.
So we could.
He steps on it hard.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Mesmer, yeah. Let's go ahead and get back over to Atraes. We're getting derailed. Grums is a whole different section. Y'all could definitely come on at a later date and talk to about Grums. I know his history very well. But so let's go back to Atraes. Let's listen to more of his other 2 videos, so then we can get back on the subject of TOS and all of that.
Okay.
So let me pull this up. Boop.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
In the context of being a woman. So some womanly organs were mentioned. I do not believe this breaks terms of service at all. You can find way more vulgar language on YouTube across all spectrums. But I believe that these videos were mass flagged. But we'll get to that part. The second video was literally me reading a comment from Twitter. It was not my original thought. It was me reading a post that Alyssa Mercante put up of somebody leaving her a very heinous tweet. All I did was read it.
All right, that right there. All I did was read it. Just because it's on X doesn't make it TOS on YouTube. If it was heinous, and as he says, to me, this is a clear like break of TOS more than likely. You can say a lot more heinous shit on X than you can on Twitter. And I don't think the excuse of well, all I did was read a tweet works, because it wasn't his own thought.
Well, wouldn't that be reporting news?
Not necessarily.
I mean, I know. See, that's the thing with the vague
news, right?
Huh?
I mean,
depends how vulgar the tweet actually was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. To skirt around it, like, you know, they'll bleep out words. They'll say like unperson, unalive. Like, you know, YouTubers have come up with like their own languages to skirt around like the TOS.
Yeah, it's like the thing is, it just depends on what the tweet was. Now, if it was something really horrific, and like I would have looked at it and be like, bro, you should have like blacked those out, bleeped your like, dude, like there's protocol here, like just to make sure that you know, cover your ass, BYA. Like, and see, that's the thing, like and he's being careful right now, not saying what he said because he doesn't want to get any further in YouTube, because in 3 months he's able to reapply again. So now we're back in the situation of, why was he demonetized? So it's,
But I think that's a
Oh, you go ahead, man.
yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, it's to me the demonetization is pretty clear. Not as in what he said is clear enough to say if it was against TOS or not, but he got hit for 3 videos that YouTube has said has fallen under harassment. It's being reviewed, so we'll see if that changes. But I mean, the demonetization is just that, the demonetization. The first one, I think, is the most egregious, or least egregious, right? I don't, unless he was talking about more intimate parts, I suppose. Again, we'd have to hear exactly what was said, which he's never gonna bring out. But if in this second one, to me, it's a lot more clear. I think he even says, let's play it one more time. Let's play it a little bit.
Heinous tweet. All I did was read it.
Okay.
Reading a post that Alyssa Mercante put up of somebody leaving her a very heinous tweet. All I did was read it.
Okay, so he just says heinous tweet.
So he read the harasser's tweet on Mercante. So the message she posted, that was like probably telling her something heinous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Video though,
Okay.
Was his entire video just reading that, or was there other content? I mean,
Right.
you don't know because it's gone, right?
So,
Yeah.
Tell me if I go off the rails a little bit here, War.
Mhm.
So I've been thinking about this recently, and I'm hopefully just dabbling into the other platform stuff, because I mean right now, like I'm just going to use Hassan as an example and Tectone. I mean, so but in one way, like okay, 1 day ban with Hassan on his day off. I mean that's kind of bullshit.
That was bullshit.
But then we look at YouTube. See see, one thing I will kind of respect Twitch on is that their goal isn't to basically financially destroy someone. If you see a 30-day ban, I mean, yeah, never mind. Twitch is all over the place in regards to that. But it used to be like if you saw a 30-day ban, they had to have fucking done something really bad to deserve a 30-day ban. And here on YouTube, when you say 3 months, like if someone if that's all of their income, which is why you see these multi-streaming, multi-platforming coming on, it's like, oh no, 3 months if that's their primary income, like it sounds like that you're trying to destroy this person. So I'm wondering, and maybe man, what's my argument? But maybe it's a criticism of TOS in the sense of I don't see YouTube changing anytime soon. They're pretty locked in their ways of unreliability and reliability at the same time. But I'm wondering if having a 2-week or at least a 1-month ban, because 3 months can really just fucking kill a channel pretty
I remember
fucking hard.
it was 3 months to reapply after my second approval. So I had to wait 3 months to reapply, and if I had waited any longer, I would not have gotten monetized. But luckily, they passed me on the third go.
So besides YouTube and Twitch having different TOSs and how they monitor it, I think the difference there is, Hassan's 1 day ban on his day off or whatever, or even Tectone was only banned for a day, even though he's crying about it now,
he was banned for 3 weeks, and they put it at a few days after, he pointed out how ridiculous it was.
I'd still say Twitch is worse.
Did he post it?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if we wanted to choose the evil, well, fuck, I can't think. What's that saying again?
The greater evil.
The greater evil. It's Twitch, because I know that YouTube, it's like, okay, they have their algorithms and this and that and that, but Twitch with Hassan, that is clear and evident bias. Like that, it's just plain as day. And especially when XQC said the thing where, they'll contact creators and be like, hey, what day works for you to be banned and stuff like that. When he said that, I'm not going to say that XQC is the most trustworthy person in the world that we should take what he says, but he's been streaming for over a decade. He knows his shit. He could do whatever he wants. He has no reason to lie. So
well,
There's just,
Twitch.
like,
well, here's my thing with it. It's
yeah,
not.
go ahead, War.
Yeah. So it's not so much that what I was trying to get at is not necessarily the different levels. Is in the case of any of these that have happened, where it's one incident. Where in Atraes's case, it was 3. Now, I think there's a good argument that we can talk about on how YouTube does its TOS with harassment, but it wasn't just one video. If it was one video, he definitely wouldn't have got demonetized, and he probably could have still been going on as normal. But since it was 3, one after the other, I mean, it's absolutely what got it.
See, this is where like Dash and I will put our conspiracy theory hats on. It's like, weird. 3 videos emailed to him at the same time.
Oh, it was 100.
They're all about Alyssa Mercante. Like,
They timed it. They timed the reports for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that it was at the very least. I think it was at least Alyssa, because I bet she watches every video that y'all make. But yeah, and she definitely went and found the most egregious 3 she could find, and she was going for the 3 strikes takedown his channel. 100%, I agree with you on that. The problem I have is that Atraes and a lot of these guys have left themselves open to it. Right? You're dealing with someone who thinks, whether they're right or not, that she's getting openly harassed by all these people. And I think it's kind of funny when people talk about Alyssa as this horrible, crazy person that they want out of gaming, and then 14 people make a video about her. It's like, this seems a little one-sided to me that all of these people are talking about one woman.
Well, it is like kind of a problem with YouTube in general, especially with like bigger channels where they don't diversify topics enough. And that's something I've been trying to do like on my channel. Like I won't farm something unless I have new stuff to report.
Yeah. So like if you look at my channel, like the thing is on my videos, I'm not really a gaming channel. But then you look at my live streams and I'm kind of a gaming channel or a commentary, whatever. But like when I talk about Alyssa Mercante, like I have to find something that no one else thought of, that no one else had thought of before. I have to find something and that's why my dissertation video went fairly well for a small YouTube channel like mine, and that's because no one had seen her dissertation before. They didn't hear about the game Sabbat. They didn't know about the Satanism ritual game with human body dysmorphia, gender and body mutilation, and all that jazz. So it's like, no, like if I'm gonna report on her, it better be something new. I'm not gonna will I clown on her on Twitter a bit? Yeah, sure. She says some stupid shit. But when it comes to my content on YouTube and Rumble, I'm sorry, I don't go after certain things. I don't even make fun of her looks, even on live stream. And I think she's just a normal person in regards to looks. That's it. Like I really do not comment on that because I don't want that one to be blown back on me, because then it's like, oh no, you're a sexist. Like no. I focus on your actions, I focus on your words, and I focus on what you wrote. So that's what I try to stick to the best of my ability. And if I have said something, I will straight up apologize to Alyssa myself. If I said anything about her looks, I will. I'll be like, you know what? I said I didn't do that. It looks like I had a misplaced judgment. I do apologize. I would apologize to Alyssa right now. But the thing is, like they're the ones that are doing the calls for mass reporting. We're just commenting on what she does, and majority of it is stupid. And the thing is, like,
I think most of her actions are a lot more egregious than like her physical appearance. Like, I don't give a crap that if she did to make money in the past, that's her thing. Like, there's, it's, but like, what she's doing like right now, like with for one, I really disagree with how like her lies of omission with her original article
and her latest video. Yeah, I mean, Harmful Opinions pointed that out pretty straightforwardly.
Can I jump in there for a second? Because I think that's a good topic, like lies by omission, perspective. And, I've done some pretty critical analysis of anti-woke folks like Smash JT Hypnotic around things where I felt they've done the same thing. Or at very least, in some cases, like, I investigated, like, I'll give you an example. Smash did some reporting on Prof Brown. You know that story, right? Prof Brown, Concord developer, video about, what he got feedback from one person on. Whatever, make your video. Second video about them looking for a job. I'm like, that's fucked up. I had people from Firewalk Studio saying that this wasn't their experience. And there was factual lies in that. An example would be saying everyone made them call them Prof Brown. That is a lie because, well, I've talked to numerous people at that studio. It can't be everyone. It's not saying that that person didn't have some experience, whatever their experience was. But to make another video with them looking for a job, and then to make a video about when they got a job, and some of the feedback, and that almost ruined this person's friggin', I won't say ruin their career, but imagine losing your job. You're not, one feedback I had, this person didn't even have a lot of agency. They did character design, but not how they looked, how they felt, how they played. And they're quite experienced. They were, but being told, you should be cautioned, EA, for hiring this person, or anyone should step very carefully. That's fucking with people's money. Just like I saw Smash saying he was against. So I see the hypocrisy that you're noting. I'm seeing the same thing from, I'll say Smash specifically in this example, but I've seen it through Endemion's reporting, a bunch of GTA 6 shit. That was just so far off the mark and lying by omission, lying by leaving details. Cyberboy, a fantastic YouTuber, went over it. Numerous other YouTubers. So everyone wants perspective, man. Everyone's a fucking spin doctor.
Yeah. So,
that's my last piece on that, anyway.
So I want to focus on this. Y'all's part of the argument before my ADHD brain forgets. But y'all talk about like she's the one doing the mass reporting. She's the one doing this. Her picture has been up on Smash's page forever on this is, Kotaku detected. So it's up there for any of the fans. This is I don't know that I would call it a direct call to action, but it is saying, hey, you need to go find these people and make sure they never get a job in the gaming industry. Same thing as her, asking people to mass report. They've come out there. Go ahead.
But the thing is, just if you post a picture on someone that they post publicly over on the internet, that's not harassment. That's something that they did.
But
you're saying the thing is what you're kind of getting at, and I know you're not saying that, but it kind of it seems like to be alluding to. The thing is like that's like we're trying to look at Smash and be like we can read his thoughts and he's telling all of his mentally just because he's posted a picture on his website or whatever, saying like, hey, I wrote about this person. Here's a picture of them. Here's my reporting. That's what a quote unquote journalist does, whether it's good or bad. That's what a journalist does. And actually, I'm gonna kind of agree with you, kind of on a different point there, Mcdizzle. And that's kind of one of the issues with journalism, just in general, is that when you get a source, and hey, it might be a legit source, but you never know if that person is a vindictive motherfucker, and you might have a different thing of like maybe the person was covering for it. Like I'm just making an example here. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. You know where I'm coming from. That's kind of one of the blind spots of journalism. It's like, okay, well, I don't know if this is a disgruntled employee who wasn't, who didn't get the promotion that they wanted, for all we know. There could be a lot of things going on, and that's why you do multiple sources and you try to double check, and you never know. Hell, there might be three people who are like, hey, we could tell Smash JT that this person is here because this person called me said I was bad at my job once. So three of us it's kind of like we're talking about YouTube. There's so many different possibilities. Do I think Smash is an honest actor? I would lean so, yes. But also at the same time, journalism isn't perfect by itself. I mean, you can look at listener content, you can look at that. There's a problem with journalism in there, but I don't think this is a journalism argument at the moment. That's what I'm saying. Right now. But I think you do have a good point on that. I'm just saying that there's, just like we were talking about YouTube and their TOS, and we don't know the puppet strings behind that, whether it's, good intention or trying to stay neutral.
Do any of you guys know who Katrina Albanakis is?
No.
Okay, so she's a localizer that a lot of us in the weeb like anime like and community like she is like openly bragged about fucking with like games and anime she's worked on to like
Oh, I do know this chick.
sensibilities. Like she has like orange hair.
She kind of there was like
she's kind of like the
a
devil to a lot of us like weebs, and like a lot of us have said, like, hey,
I think I
Sega,
remember.
Can you not like hire this person? And of course they don't listen.
Well,
and she still keeps getting gigs.
Well, and here's the thing. So that kind of gets onto the point that I'm making. Like, while necessarily Smash putting it up there may, like I said, it may or may not be some form of harassment or something like that. What does happen is every single time Melissa McConaughey gets a new gig, it's immediately reported on, as you say, so that she can't even work at a pizza shop without someone, or where was it, Waffle House, without getting thousands of calls because people will because y'all will say, hey, look, she's working at Waffle House. Some crazy in your group will go find them and then go attack her. Like, when is that harassment?
Woke people do a lot of the same things, and I'm not justifying it. I think that is like really stupid. Like the whole Vic Madonna
it's shitty on both
like,
sides.
Like they went over like every like time he tried to like go to a convention or try and find a new line of work after like Crunchyroll. These people would be like calling the places and shit, and like, oh my god, you need to protect me.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's well, they're doing it too side of the argument. You know what I mean? It's not. It doesn't make it right on either side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not right. Like like people should like be able to like find work, and like like, do I want like Katrina to like not be able to make money and provide for herself? No, I just want her to stop butchering lewd games.
Yeah,
the thing is, like, it's one of those things. It's like you cannot like you can't control your audience. Like I was saying, I forget what's like, maybe it was a live stream I was on. I was just like, dude, you cannot control them. You can say, if we're creators, so we can say to the blue and till it's blue in our face, hey, like there is a difference between criticizing and harassment. Please don't email her death threats. That's fucking stupid. Like that will get you arrested. And also at the same time, like, why? I mean, Asmongold says, yeah, I get thousands of death threats a day. I mean, I had someone from her side, asking me to put a toaster in the bathtub. I'm like, okay, well, welcome to the internet. So I mean, there's a lot of different aspects to this. It's like, what is? Do you have the mental fortitude to like be in these arenas? And I don't think she is. Like, what?
Here's the difference in that, right? So yes, people. I've already blasted both Savvy and Cult Classic. And I think Smash too, for posting a hate comment from a shitter, right? We can all agree that everyone says stupid shit online. The best thing you can do is ignore it. That's why Chibi gets so much. That's why Chibi, I think, is a little coward who keeps putting stuff out, and it gets worse and worse and worse, and he messed with probably one of the worst people that can happen. But the difference is not that, like, I agree you can't control your audience, but what you can control is not going on the internet and going, hey, guess what? Alyssa McConaughey works at Waffle House. Ha 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 ha. Sure, that's funny, but your audience is going to go search for that job. Like, she's not in the gaming sphere anymore. Obviously, if she's working at McDonald's, she has connections. And then, yeah,
Summerfest right now. She's at Summerfest right now.
Oh, I believe that. She still has a thing in there, and she's
though, like, doesn't she, like, for like Rolling Stone and a bunch of other?
Yeah, she got like they have a small gaming division that she just got like hired, and Rolling Stone is a very like hard left leaning publication, so she'll probably keep her job most likely. Like she's
a freelancer.
Oh yeah, that's right. Someone did mention that she is like not technically. Like, she's freelancing, so it's like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 1. He doesn't technically work for the Bugle.
Damage Sector said, check your DMs, Mcdizzle.
Yeah, I'm taking a look.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, when is it too far? Because there's... What I would like to know is more...
When she doxed Rev Says Desu literally in the lawsuit, For all we know, that's his real name.
That's not
certain, and that's against TOS.
That to me is not a doxing. His personal name in a court document that anybody could pull it.
A name is totally a dox.
I'm reading it. I'm reading it right now. Collectors use any information that might identify a person, for example, harsing usernames and faces, unless permitted by that person or allowed under Section 3 above.
Right, but we're talking about a public document, and I can. Did she put that up on her stream? Like did she read the document on her stream?
What I would say is that she found a loophole in order to dox people legally.
I mean, you could say that because she's going to get their names, but I haven't seen her specifically post those names. And when you're going through a court document, they're going to pull legal names. Like I watch people pull up court documents all the time. At that point, it is up to the YouTuber to not put that identifiable information out, but just her putting your name in the report is not her doxing you specifically. It's the document getting written up for this case. Maybe if there's...
Did they find that information?
Well,
was there a subpoena towards YouTube?
It's possible. I don't know if that happened.
Like, exactly.
That would have to cost a lot of money.
That costs a lot of money. Is her and her lawyers literally lying about, what Smash JT paying me? But no, they said on information and belief, so they covered their ass.
Right.
I mean, the thing is, like, but this is getting to your point, though. It's like, where is the line? Because it seems like everyone's trying to get their weight on the issue at hand. There's people want to win, and the thing is, like, at the end of the day,
too many fucking people into this thing. Like, she should have just kept it between her and Smash JT. But no, like, she has to bring Rev. She has to nobody who
that
didn't
said,
even.
Oh, you go ahead, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. It's just this. She's literally at war with the entire internet, and she just keeps getting more and more people wrapped up with it. Like, the more bullshit she pulls. So I really can't wait for her to lose this lawsuit and just get egg on her face for just wasting everyone's time.
Well, because there's.
Oh, you go. What do you have, man?
Well, the thing is let's remove Alyssa Mercante and Smash JT out of it. Let's just say it's two random people, just so that we can be as neutral as possible here. So if someone says, essentially, you did not say this, I'm basically but because you have an audience and that you said something about me, therefore you're at fault. And the thing is, her own lawyer said I can bring it up. It's on his LinkedIn. I downloaded it. They're into changing a law. They're into making a law, and that would put the entire internet, anyone could sue anyone. And Smash JT has made this point several times. It's like, okay, if you win, then by your own definition of the new quote unquote law that you made, now I can sue you back. See, that's my greatest fear on this, is that, and the thing is, I don't want to shit on the judge or anything. I don't know anything about this judge whatsoever, but it is New York. But you never know. But but the thing is, the judge is doing the right thing. Of okay, I'm gonna give you as many chances as you can to get all the evidence. Let's follow process, and even everyone seems to be following the process as much as they can, just so that everything is on the dotted lines and everything.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
but
so
the consequence of all this is massive if she wins. For everybody, that means you can't criticize any journalism, even if you're right.
No, I just go ahead. Go ahead. You've been waiting to go. Go ahead and say your piece.
We keep interrupting him.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Tired Comg said Rev was doxxed years ago. So I guess not by Merlis.
Oh, really?
So.
Oh shit! We got the one and only airbagged in the chat.
Oh my!
If it's airbagged.
Here's my thoughts. There's a lot to address here. You get a lot of interesting points. So I agree that Smash and Alyssa should have been kind of kept between them. And I think that was Alyssa's initial intent based on her cease and desist. The cease and desist that she said clearly said, hey, you lied about me, at least from her perspective, right? That's where the evidence and shit will come out. You know, it's in that complaint. That's what she said anyway. You lied about me, said this. We'd like you to apologize. Don't care if you make content about me. Just do it within the law. That got denied, move forward to the lawsuit. And now they're digging in. I won't say now because it might not even go forward, right? This might be the kind of end of them investigating things if it doesn't go through jurisdiction. If it does, then that could drag on. As Smash recently said on that Ron Coleman video, maybe something years. I mean, it makes sense with other trials, and I hope it doesn't come to that. It's a shame that they couldn't have early on, before it got crazy, work this out like normal people. And lawsuits suck, man. It sucks. Like, this is a lot of risk.
Yeah.
For both.
So let's
yeah, you go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, let's get focused back on, because we're getting into the lawsuit and things like that, and I want to stay focused on the YouTube TOS. I get it. I knew it was going to eventually lead to the Alyssa and Smash, because this is kind of the whole start of the whole. This is the thing that keeps churning up all this.
The beginning and the end.
Yeah. So, but
it literally is.
Yeah. Nobody. You made a statement about her doing the thing, and I don't remember what exactly was said at but it was something on like she's doing it, and then Smash is going back at her. But it kind of goes to that back thing where it's not. It's
where's the line?
Yeah, where's the line? Like, how many people is she like? How many orbiters of Smashes bring up her every time it comes to it? Like, is it from her side of view? Imagine, let's do the same thing. Yeah, the super chat stuff was her thing. I'll flat to get you. She has no business going into all these other people's chats and stirring the pot. It doesn't make it any better, right? But now let's imagine just one person. Say you are doing your thing. You make a comment that someone doesn't like, and then all of their orbit. Let's say a good one would be Destiny. Like, you piss off Destiny, and now every orbiter that Destiny has is making videos about you. And with that, in Discords and different things like that, there have been at least talks. You can't prove that it was Destiny pushing it, but there have at least been talks of brigading her. You're getting tons of death threats that are more credible and that are actually illegal, because several of the death threats she got don't fall under freedom of speech, which is not something I see very often. When is it too much? Like, you just want to leave it alone, right? You just want to go about your day. But every time you tweet an opinion about something, 15 people make tweets about it, and those 15 people's fans all come at you. Like, what is the line? Like, what is morally acceptable?
Well, the thing is, it's also welcome to the internet. Like, if people are giving me death threats, it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do about it? And if they haven't said anything specific, and the thing is, like, you mentioned Destiny. Destiny actually is, as much as that I have my opinions about him. I remember something he said. It was a while back ago. He said, if you just shut up for 3 days, people move to the next thing.
That was what I was saying.
And the thing is, like, I mean, how long has it been since people talked about, like, the whole Destiny videoing someone that, they shouldn't have? I mean, clearly, that's a wrong thing to do, and especially sharing.
He's a fucking pervert.
Yeah.
All right, here's a better example. Let's look at Chibi reviews.
The thing is, like nothing I can do,
Yeah. Let's look at Chibi reviews, right? Most of the anti-wokers are on Chibi reviews aside, because he's gotten like the letters in the mail, the bomb thing, right? Most retards want to say that it didn't happen because he would have died. That's not true. Our system is pretty good at finding bomb threats, and the FBI probably contacted him to.
I had no idea Chibi was the victim of a bomb threat.
Yeah, he announces it. He announces it to the world every time he turns around, especially during the Kirsch stuff. That is a bad form of, that's not protected. That's absolutely crazy shit. The guy got arrested from what he said, which is understandable. But he also has people taking pictures of his brother's grave, right? So we're getting to like yeah, there's definitely a line there where like people are taking it too far, and the people making videos at some point have to acknowledge that, right? You have to find, like, you can say whatever you want to say, but is it not harassment to take it that far when you're 15 people deep talking about him? I agree. Call him a pedo. Go ahead.
Is Chibi Reviews telling people to do that?
Telling people to do what? Oh, no, he's not telling them. Other people. He messed with probably one of the worst websites you can possibly mess with. He messed with Soyjack.
I have no idea what that is.
Soyjack
died party or something, right?
Yeah, he got Soyjack rated is what happened. If you hear about them, don't get messed with these guys. These guys are
just a bunch of 4chaners that just post soy and Chudjack memes.
They're the ones that hacked Kiwi Farms. Not Kiwi Farms, 4chan, and put out all the information. 4chan? Yeah.
Mm.
So,
well,
I mean...
That makes sense, because they're all like 4chan refugees, basically.
So while Chibi Review, you can say that point, Chibi Reviews... I have my views on that too, Airbag. That's I like talking about Chibi, but to get back to it, like, obviously there's a line where the people have gone too far, right? And a lot of that is Chibi making it worse, just like Alyssa makes it worse. But how is someone taking a picture of his grave different than people spamming her job to get her fired? And it's like, she can go. Is it not harassment that there's nowhere that she can go that Smash and the Orbiters won't follow and do it? I mean, it's a very definition of what cancel culture was back in the 2000s.
Like, game journalism isn't an important thing to me. If I want to see a review in a game, I go on my Xbox, I see what other people say that have played it, because Xbox is set up good like that. So I don't care about game journalism, but if you look at it from a bunch of people that have nothing to do with this culture war shit, and you see someone that has a site that says, like, N Kotaku or whatever it is, and you work at Kotaku, you might take offense to that. You might think someone's trying to fuck with your money.
Yeah,
just maybe. I get
Kotaku for years has just put out like so many like attacks on the gaming public,
sure.
Like, trying to push like their points of view onto the industry, like,
they're toast, man. It's 2025 though. No one, like, I think
they're weak now,
done.
but like way back, like, they were once like, the gaming site.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's over.
Yeah, there's a lot of
they ran their course.
A lot of legacy media is just gonna die.
Yeah,
and they're fighting tooth and nail. I mean, God bless their souls for trying, but it's just gonna happen, and I don't know. It sounds like a slow death right now, just in general, but I think there's gonna be like a real. I don't know where it's gonna come from, but it's a slow death, and then all of a sudden there's just gonna be that where it just happens. And
all right.
I think it's like
we're getting off topic again. Well, right, and it comes back into the kind of the harassment thing that we're going about with, because Nizmir makes a good point. It's, to me, when it comes to Atraes' side on that, he made some comments that I probably think broke some kind of TOS. We'll see when it's litigated. He got hit for it. Toasty, I don't know about, because I don't know the content that was said, and Ryan was just asking for it. I'm sorry. I don't like Ryan. Anyway, let's get back.
I like Ryan, and I know he was basically asking for it.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, trust me, knowing his humor, he probably broke TOS.
Yeah.
More than likely.
So let's get back to like that TOS argument that we're talking about with YouTube. My personal take is YouTube, while it has its problems, has the best TOS that's out there on the market. With
That quote about democracy.
right, but where do you like? You know, a lot of this that we're arguing and we're getting to other points are about around Alyssa's harassment versus not harassment and things like that. Oh, I forgot where I was going with that. Let's get there. Someone got a comment while I try to remember what point I had.
Talking about Billy Mitchell's hot sauce. No,
Billy. Oh yeah, that's funny. So like, do you? Let's forget that the this is a harassment campaign for a second. What's the word I'm looking for? Or the phrase I'm looking for? Like, what do you think is? Where do you think the line is? Each of you think the line is on what you can say for TOS. Like, where would you want YouTube to be?
Well, for one, I think death threats and doxing are a big line that I think, like.
Yeah, I mean,
what about you?
That's clear as day. Yeah, the thing is, like, here's the weird thing: is like, there's always these, and it's one of those things. Like, okay, if I say something that Alyssa said, I mean, it could be one of those gray areas too, right? Like, if she says, and the thing is, like, I'm not trying to put words in her mouth. I'm just making up a hypo. Actually, I'll just make it about Wargaming Dad. We're here real quick. Wargaming Dad says someone called. See, this is where it could get that gray line. It kind of goes back to the Atraes thing of, as long as he's being an honest actor about what he was talking about. It's like, hey, I was reading this, but also at the same time, you're experienced enough with the TOS to cover your ass. If you don't do that, if you don't bleep out words, if you don't cover those words up, like, see, that's the thing. The TOS says something, and then there's what the TOS does not say. That's what makes this very, very interesting. But one thing that it does say is you can't mass report. Like,
right. Say exactly about that. What's the verbiage with it? Because I know there's the brigading thing, like using a video to brigade. But it doesn't say you can't go in X and say report this video. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Yeah. See, this is kind of what and people hate me when I say this. I'm like, and I understand why YouTube is vague because of all these reasons. Because it can, because there's, I hate saying this word, nuance to things. There's context, and it's vague for a reason because. Just like if you talk to any lawyer and you ask them a legal question, they will say it depends. And that's, I think, where YouTube is. But the thing, what we're running into is that the things are so automated now that essentially, like, if you do a mass reporting campaign, it fires up the algorithm.
Yeah, it's easy to AI context.
And then it emits a lot of context, which Harmful Opinions did a very good job of doing. So when we're talking about platforms and free speech, I think there's always going to be that tango, and this is the part that people are going to get mad at me for. When are platforms becoming a utility for freedom of speech? And that goes back to Section 230. And I know why a lot of people don't like when I talk about messing with 230, because that can do some damage, especially when you get the government involved. And I don't want the government involved most than anything. But if there's something that I could change on that, YouTube needs to be a little more transparent on why something's happening. Like, so with Ryan Roger Athne, they say, for harassment. I'm like, okay, most of us can probably assume just with our association with him, like, probably something he said, but YouTube isn't specific. But there was no 3 strikes, you're out. There was, you're gone.
Well, it was
3 strikes.
It was something really bad, at least in YouTube's eyes, or at least I would guess.
It was a review of his channel. Like, it was a complete review of his channel.
Yeah. No one here is arguing that
the content
Ryan was
probably definitely exists.
Yeah, like there's probably something out there. What I don't appreciate about YouTube is just their lack of transparency.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And Nizmir in chat is bringing up a good point, but because I was going to talk about this, like how do you determine it's a mass reporting, and two, what would be considered a YouTube TOS mass reporting would be her going onto YouTube and stating all of you need to go, which is actually, funny enough, something that Kirsch did, but I don't want to get off the path onto that, to go mass report a video. Now they are doing it. Does YouTube, which Nazmir, I will say this in their defense on it, I have watched a video where she was doing an interview and she did call for people to report videos about harassment. Now, she was very generalized with it. I don't think she talked about herself. But yeah, we're calling this Atraes thing a mass report, but I've yet to see any evidence that it's a mass report other than 3 videos getting hit at the same time.
See but that's my point. It's just a little bit of transparency of like, even just to the creator, and hey, maybe the creator wants to keep that to his chest, for all we know, but at least to the creator, be like, here's where you fucked up. This is why you're being banned. This is why you're suspended. This is why this.
Yeah, they just generalize videos. It to like they should attach videos at least. Videos violated the TOS, and then from there you can even figure it out. You don't even have to say.
They do. He posted Atraes posted the timestamps that they said broke TOS, or at least one of them. From my understanding, which I haven't gotten any. The only thing that I've been banned on has been X, but recently, from my understanding, when I've seen most people pop up the video of something, there is some kind of timestamp. Like Smash didn't put up a timestamp for it.
No, they refused to give him one.
Well, that's what he's saying.
No, I watched it live. Oh yeah.
Well, when he's
so he covered up his email because he was actually live with YouTube chat, and they were refusing outright to provide him with the reason or the timestamp. They would not allow him to fix it.
So was that YouTube chat though? Here's the thing about here's the thing about any corporation's chat messaging is it's not the people who are in charge of that particular section. It's some Joe Smo who's sitting there. I used to work for a large financial institution, and there's a lot of times you didn't know the information coming down. So it may be that particular person couldn't give that information, but there would be something sent out. I absolutely believe that Smash received some kind of email that showed him the timestamp that what was going on.
After he got one after he got a channel manager, and it wasn't the knees. It ended up because he told us, which we actually did suspect after taking a look at the video.
It was the tits.
Yeah, it was a post that someone else made that zoomed in on Alana Pierce's tits. Now, like, I'll actually somewhat disagree with Smash on this. I'm like, well, I can see where YouTube's coming from on that. I can see that. But
right.
But also at the same time, it's like, okay, well, Alyssa Mercante was able to, fix her thing and repost it, but he's been waiting, a week and a half, being like, hey, if I blur this out, can I repost it? It should be very easy.
Well, I don't think she got an answer back. Like, I didn't see her say anything about getting an answer back. She just cut out the portion, or she censored out the portion and then just uploaded a completely new video, which is risky because she could have gotten a second strike.
Very risky.
On it.
Believe it or not, I don't want any I want all of Alyssa's content to be up. Like whatever. I mean, she finally fixed her audio, which is great. It's a progress. I'm glad for her. I hope she gets new equipment. I hope that she has a roof over her head and all that stuff. I mean, she says stuff that I think is kind of stupid every once in a while. But I typically, at least on YouTube, I don't go on the day-to-day stuff like other people do. I'm just not. That's not what my content is all about. I mean,
neither is mine. I barely covered Alyssa outside of talking about her maybe a few times on streams with Smash himself, and
Is it?
You know,
The thing is, it's like he's in the middle of a lawsuit with her. It's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna mention stuff.
Yeah,
a lot of people
this was over
donated
the
money
summer.
to it. Like
This was before he
he's
even had 100K. This was even before he had one.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like
Here's a
around
question for
95.
y'all. You mentioned that he is talking about her, like he's in a lawsuit with her. He's going to comment on it. I guess my question is, man, if I was in a lawsuit with someone, I don't think I would be talking about them or putting myself in a position.
Well, you see, that's the funny thing with both of them. They can't stop talking about each other.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But one is suing and one is defending as well. And equally, what they both say could hurt.
Right.
Hurt both their cases. Who knows, right? It's still a long ways off. But the cool thing is, I think in July, we'll at least know is it going to get thrown out for jurisdiction, or is it going to move to, whatever the other outcomes could be, like a partial discovery or shit like that. But it's a shame, man. Like, shit shouldn't come down.
It shouldn't have came down to
It
this.
is kind of a shame. It is a shame that it has gotten escalated to so much.
Yeah, right. But
here's a question. I just want to pose another one. You brought up earlier, nobody around the scholastic terrorism and the impact on that, like the new law that they want to make. I don't even know if that's based around the scholastic terrorism, but the new law that's part of the charges. The one thing that, again, one of the outcomes, I don't think she has to win on everything in there to win. Because there's a number of different, I don't know if they're called charges or causes of something that I read, but there's defamation, there's harassment, scholastic terrorism, and maybe some other shit. Those are the three I could remember. I would be surprised if new law got passed, but I have no idea. But man, the other stuff is just a battle between two people that really doesn't have a lot to do, in my opinion, with gamers. I don't feel like I'm a gamer. I play fuckloads of video games for ever, and I don't know what it's defending. That's the thing, right? I see it almost as a Carl Jobs, Billy Mitchell situation. It's between two people, and the whatever comes out in law in court it's wild. And again, I wish they could have again, when that cease and desist came out, I wondered, and I'm not gonna, if I ask Smash this, of course he's gonna say I would have done everything the exact same. But I wonder if in his heart he to avoid all the shit.
If you're gonna say it
right now,
you're gonna say it, get it right. He would say, "Oh, go ahead, finish your sentence."
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, would he have adhered to that cease and desist and be I was wrong on this based on these apparent facts? I wonder if he would change anything, because it's risk, right? It's risk. There's a risk he could lose. There's a risk she could lose. It's, man, that's one thing I wonder. Again, he would just say of course he would.
Right.
I don't know.
So moving back over, we're gonna get. I know the lawsuit's hype, but I want to get back over to kind of the TOS side on it. When we're talking about, we've already talked about kind of the harassment side. We're on the things of stuff like that. We were in the middle of talking about the mass reporting campaign, YouTube being broad and prompt terms of service. I think YouTube gives more information than creators are willing to say. On top of it, some of the conspiracy theories, even from Smash himself around the Atraes thing, I think are probably some of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. So Smash's theory is that there is a loophole in the sexual content TOS that allows you to mass report for next to nothing, right? Have y'all heard him make that statement? It was just after the Atraes thing. I remember I only could watch about half of it because I rage quit.
I'll look back into that one. I can't answer that, but I do know, at least in regards to the Alana Pierce one. It's one of those tricky situations too, because it's okay, he's trying to say, hey, here's what people think about her. And he's not the one that zoomed in, the tits, but also at the same time, I'm YouTube's bro, just don't. There's probably plenty of other posts, but if Smash wants to die on that hill, it's just not something I would do, right? It's not something I do on my content. Then Atraes, he once you see that title that he had about her, like clapping, Alyssa Mercante clapping cheeks. Like once I heard that title, I'm like, dude, you were fucked on that one, definitely, man. So I mean, there are some gray areas. I do know that like there are some people even with our community that I mean, they won't push as hard as Ryan Rogers will, but they definitely will approach that try to kind of thin that line out as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But the risk and reward thing, man, like I mean, I don't do that with my content. Like I'm extra careful, man. I make sure that all my facts are straight.
Yeah,
right.
Same here. I try, and when I do get things wrong, I do release correction videos.
Yeah, and that's good. So why do you think it's like? I think one problem I have amongst this, like kind of like Atraes defense, is he's clearly come out and said it. And I'm not saying everyone has to make a video, but
right.
Next to no one puts out a statement out on him saying like, hey, this seems like, hey, you broke TOS here, bud. It always seems to be this blanket defense. And Airbag says Atraes makes thinly veiled violent threats in his videos. He does, but with me,
say he does. I don't watch his content enough.
Yeah,
he flat out said he was going to.
Airbag, I apologize, Airbag. I apologize, Airbag. I didn't watch enough of Atraes to know that for certain.
Yeah, he does.
I'm gonna apologize to Airbag.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna
clip it. They'll clip it. Nobody. They'll clip it.
I don't give a fuck. And the thing is, like, I just emotionally responded, and guess what? If I get clipped, that's the consequence of my actions, and I'll fucking deal with it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he made a direct threat to the Birdman guy, but here's my take on that, because I honestly don't care. Yeah, him and Birdman have gone back and forth for a while. I don't care. Yeah, it is. I personally don't give a fuck about the threats. It from a legal standpoint, it falls under freedom of speech. So there's no legal argument there. I definitely agree that it would probably get him further demonetized if YouTube took a look at that video and things like that, because they don't take well to direct threats at all. So they're not free speech.
Right. So like at the end of the day, like the thing is, like sometimes YouTube is direct, sometimes they're not. And at the very least, could you just be at least be transparent, as equal as you can? Like let's at least see effort into that, because like at the end of the day, like if there's an email that Smash JT says, and he's shown a lot of his emails about YouTube, and it says plain as day, oh, it's like, oh, now we all know. And like it could be that simple, but YouTube just refuses to do that. I think that a lot of this argument, I think a lot of like, I know Airbag and I have gone back and forth, and that's more than fine. But I think a lot of stuff would be solved if YouTube would actually be a little transparent what's going on with the demonetizations, with the deplatformings. Like the weird one, like, and this is outside of Atraes here for a second, that John Douglas one that ended up being some sort of weird thing. So on one hand, it's like, is that a mass reporting of maybe a ban? Like what's like, I could see some intricacies in that. Like maybe someone saw a video of Ryan Rogers and they thought it was like the most recent video and that he was ban evading, right? I could see how that mistake could be made.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I think YouTube needs to be just a tiny bit, like 5-10% more transparent, and a lot of these arguments would actually cool down a lot, because we'd actually have the source, the evidence of like, here is why we are banning you, here's why you're suspended, here's why this. Then it's there.
How much do they care, though? How much do they care?
They don't give two shits.
No, their thoughts are like, hey, we provide you a TOS that gives you this broad direction. Don't fuck up, even though it's very broad and open to a lot of interpretation. That's kind of them saying, hey, we fulfilled our responsibility. We expect you to fulfill yours, and that's the risk of drama content in general, because drama content
is a double-edged sword. It'll give you the clicks, but you can put yourself in. You become.
It is. It is so much fun.
And hopefully like this I like Smash JT, but we're not Monolith. I have disagreed with him
like I was even saying like he does and says derpy stuff, but you know what, he's a nice guy, and he really is. He seems like a pretty good dad. I know like a lot of he will say like he's not always very tactful, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean,
the internet. Everyone's not going to be tactful. We're all going to go mostly. And the thing is, I think that you kind of brought it back to the same thing. It's like, all right, we have TOS versus the law. How do we balance that out? And I think I think my solution would be YouTube. Just be a little bit more transparent, and we can actually avoid a lot of this shit.
Is always good.
And see, I don't
10% more.
Here's the thing with that, like what is more transparent? If they're giving out the clips of the because does Atraes have a YouTube manager?
I don't know.
Our YouTube partner program? Yeah, and that I wouldn't think he would, as small as he is, but he got a numbered clip. So how much of it is YouTube's not giving the information, and how much of it is a YouTuber not showing what the clip is and saying, "Oh, I was wrongfully demonetized. I was this and that." There's a lot of people that like to cry when their channels get taken down and things like that. But if you were to really go look at the videos that they make, you're like, yeah, I can see that.
See, the thing is, at least with that, like literally we were on live stream and he was chatting with YouTube and they were refusing to. I actually have it on video. I accidentally actually almost doxed Smash JT because I blurred like everything, like Alana Pierce. I blurred everything just to make sure that I was over carefulness. And then because at the very end of a YouTube chat, it'll be like, okay, we're gonna send your information to this email, and it showed up on live stream, and so he actually had to. It was kind of funny, but thankfully it didn't get out there.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I expect the same thing. He's asking over and over again, like, what was the problem? And then we have Alyssa. She gets an answer. And Smash JT, but the thing is, you'd want Smash JT to actually have an answer, have a timestamp, and all that jazz. So my question is like, what are the inner workings? Like, I don't need to know how the sausage is made, but like, can I at least see the bratwurst?
Well, I mean, I think that like, does that information need to go out to every single person that's out there, or and at this point, we can't prove a negative, right? He's talking to a chat person. How soon after that video was it taken down was he talking to this person on YouTube chat?
Well, he was doing his best to fight with them on X and online like all fucking day, and they wouldn't give him an answer. They wouldn't give him an answer on emails, and I believe he did screenshot his emails if I'm not mistaken. Like, no, he was fine all day for that, and at least according to him, like he has sent an email and they just haven't reported back to him. Like, but that's not my point. Is like, hey, equal opportunity there. Can we all get our timestamps? Because we do know YouTubers that haven't gotten timestamps. That if you looked at their video or watched it, you went like, what? Where? Like, what? Where's the sexual content? Like, what the hell? Like, is this like a bot being triggered, or like, because that stuff happens on YouTube. We've all seen it. And just like, and I was even saying, with Alyssa, maybe like her lawyers missed it, or they didn't know, or maybe she thought that was okay to just put out an email. And yeah, did that person harass her? Absolutely. And honestly, like there is a part of me that goes, man, I would love this person to be called out, but also at the same time, that is against TOS, and I can understand why that's there, even if it's the offending party, right? Because you could get to doxing. It could go both ways. That's all I'm saying. On one hand, it's this. On one hand, it's this. And then you can only. No, I'm not going to say that on YouTube. I was about to make a really bad joke.
It's fine. I don't mind bad jokes. Well, and here's my thing. Like you're saying that a lot of this is hinged around the fact that Smash is saying that he never received, or he hasn't received what that clip is yet. But Atraes has gotten a timestamp.
Well, now
the others have Right. So it may have taken a minute for whatever reason. I don't know the exact point. I know Atraes got his quick. That could be. And then again, Smash could have gotten it. I mean, he the first thing he put out was, oh, it was the knees. Like he had, like he had some information from YouTube saying on the timestamp, and then later,
yes, it was
no. That well, no, like honestly, that's a meme. Just because at the time that was the only thing he wasn't thinking about the picture. Like no one was thinking about the picture. And then someone finally
like that's wild.
But well, no, like I watched it on Rumble a few times, and I didn't know about a zoom in feature thing. Like that's something in TOS I didn't even know about. So no one ever thought about that. But then someone did point that out. It was someone from the audience, I think on X, and they went, okay, wait, I think I know what it is. And then we're like, oh, it's not the knees. Because as we all know, YouTube's algorithm can be a little bit of a bitch. So confused. So you never know. Like, here's the knees, you know, and they're introducing AI into the systems. Like, you just never know nowadays. So, like, on one hand, it's like, okay, like AI, we've seen stupid stuff that AI has done, but also on the other hand, it's like YouTube, you just could have been transparent from the very beginning and not, wait months until he gets a channel manager. Now he gets it, but some people don't. Some people do. Like, no one knows what the hell's going on anymore. And I just wish that there was a little bit more transparency. And I'm just going to go back to this. It's like, if there's a little bit more transparency, and not a lot. Like, again, I don't need to know how the sausage is made. I don't need to know. Can I see the bratwurst? Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, 5% more transparent, and YouTube would solve so many issues.
I mean, personally, I don't think it would unless they gave it out to the greater public. And I understand necessarily not why they don't give it out to the greater public.
See, that's the other hand of it. It's like, yeah.
Screw you, go to Rumble. They're just gonna tell people.
Yeah, right. But Rumble also needs to fix thetheir shit too.
Hold on, our smoke alarm's going off.
Oh,
one moment.
Yeah,
the bratwurst.
I don't want to see Mcdizzle get burned to death on my live stream, please. So yeah, check that out. So another thing, like, we're talking about algorithms when it comes to specifically harassment. That's everything that I've read about it so far is it's not triggered by algorithm. For harassment to trigger, someone has to report the video for harassment. So, pretty much the question is on what is a harassment campaign. Is Alyssa going and flagging 2 videos or 3 videos a harassment campaign? Because there's no proof that a ton of people went and did it, right? Oh, you're alive? Or was it just the battery?
Yeah, we're good. It's just steam from a shower.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's for harassment, because it was taken down for harassment on Atraes' side. For harassment to have been triggered, someone had to report the video. I lost my train of thought worrying about things. So I mean, that's kind of the thing that I get at. This wasn't YouTube's algorithm. I can't believe that. It's hard for me to believe when I see so many other YouTubers do it, that Smash didn't get something about it, right? Whether he's being malicious or whether he is being retarded, because I have my views on whether those 2 things are. The people, like when you see people who don't put out that timestamp and things like that, I can almost guarantee you start to look at the videos in other places that people have recorded it, and you can point towards the thing that was definitely TOS. I mean, wrong personal head. Smash just dropped 40 plus videos off of his channel about Alyssa Mercante.
Did he?
Yeah. I went looking the other day. They said there was 100 videos that had been made about Alyssa Mercante. I went and checked a couple days ago, and we're down to 40 some.
Kept posting them on his fucking timeline and telling his audience to report them.
Oh, and that wasn't airbag. Like you can say it all day long. That wasn't airbag.
an airbag clone. For all I know, it's Alyssa Mercante. For all I know, it could be anybody really.
Yeah.
But it's like no, like this little army of airbag clones. They're doing this, and they have chosen a side, and they have decided to do that. See, that it's kind of like what I was saying near the very beginning of this stream of like, okay, well, it might flag it, but they also don't know the context of what's being said. So she said on a tweet, I suck D. So it's like, okay, if he's reading that, is that harassment? And it goes back to Atraes. It's like, okay, wait, he's reading that, but the thing is, it's saying I suck D might be a little different than what Atraes was reading. For all we know, he was like talking about innards in a whole different area, and not just saying like a uterus has been shriveled up for all we know. And that's kind of the thing. It's like, okay, because I know YouTubers that have been like, yeah, I have no idea. I've watched videos. It's like, what? This is basically Mr. Beast. Why is something sexual like being claimed right now? It's like one of those. We've all seen it. It's like, wait, what? And that could be the algorithm. It could be your reporting. It could be a lot of things. That's why I keep saying just a little bit more transparency. Like what is the fine line? And maybe YouTube needs to figure that out. But I would rather these platforms figure it out before the government comes in. Because I think
YouTube will. Oh, sorry, man. What are you saying?
Oh no, I was basically done with my thought.
Like, my thoughts are, it's like, I don't think YouTube's going to make any changes, but I think alternate platforms like Rumble and shit like that will exist. But on the flip side, it's just such less of an audience. You can still build communities and stuff over there. But I don't think YouTube will change anything because they're just a steamrolling company. They're like, we're the biggest in the world. Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, and they have they have Daddy Google to back them out.
Well, here's the thing. Let's go back to the dick sucking comment. Of course. Yeah. So here's the difference that I think on the dick sucking comment and Smash's view. Like, oh, she said it. Sure, got it. She said it on X, right? And no matter what order it is, whether she said it first or whether Smash said it first, he said it on YouTube. So it doesn't matter to me that, I think he has a right to say it. Sure. But he's saying it on YouTube. If I go on to X and I see that, who's that bitch taking 1,000 men or whatever, and there's a video of her taking those 1,000 men, and I bring it to YouTube to report on it, is that not, oh well, it was already out there, someone put it out there.
I think you're going to an extreme that we know that.
Well, you can say that with anything,
it's kind of not very equivalent here.
I think, well, you can say it with anything. Just because someone says something TOS, whatever it is that they say, if they say it on X and it doesn't break TOS, and then you say it on YouTube but it does break to YouTube's TOS, I don't think you should be crying, well, they said it on X, because it's
Well, then is a bikini the equivalent to, that whatever her fucker name is, doing those, 500 men? Wearing bikini is wearing that. Like, if we're going to go to the extreme there, let's go to the least extreme on the other side of that.
Well, I think that a bikini, my personal thing is I see a lot of people. Hold on. Let me look up something. I'm going to, Chud Logic.
Like, I don't think anyone's disagreeing that, there shouldn't be, rules. I don't think anyone's disagreeing with that. It's just how far is the line?
Well,
what's left, what's right, what's reasonable.
I think in a lot of cases there's a pretty clear line. Well, not a pretty clear line. That's a bad way to say it. So, like, all right, here we go. Can I
like if there's let's just say if there's a justified homicide, someone is defending themselves. Obviously, we wouldn't say, yeah, that should be on YouTube. I don't think any of us would say that. I mean, you see a lot of people where something's about to happen, but then they don't show it. But I think, it's when, and it's weird when it comes from speech, and then maybe I'm doing an unfair comparison there, because one is a violent crime, one is someone speaking their mind. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, it's a fact that it was said. It doesn't justify as harassment if it's something that someone said. She put onto her profile that she was a feminist, HWORE. Mm-hmm. It was there, and it suddenly, right? And it suddenly got changed when the lawsuit came. She suddenly started deleting a ton of tweets that literally had everything to do with her argument that she deleted. I mean, it's on public record. It's on Hypnotic's channel.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. That in my case, that's still kind of a little bit of a she was doing it, he was deleting it. I got an example I'm going to bring up. It's on YouTube, so it should be good for TOS. So, you're talking about the bikini thing. I think there can be a difference, and I can't bring up the other picture of Alyssa, but right here, and I'll show this to the class too. The video on the left. Do you see the thumbnail?
Uh-huh.
Clearly a very provocative thumbnail, right? But not so far. It's been out 5 days and it hasn't been hit by YouTube. We'll see if it ever does. Yeah, I got to bring up Chud. I'm a glazer. So you take this picture. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the thing is, the meta, if you type in naked yoga here on YouTube, you will find some interesting things that should definitely not be on the platform, but for some reason they keep it up anyways.
It's under their TOS. It's absolutely under their TOS. If the content is being used in some kind of way to teach, because you can go into YouTube and type in "teach me how to shave my vagina," and it will pull up a video and butthole, and it'll show the full thing when it's in a so technically that video is under TOS.
Educational, right?
Yeah, educational. It's a loophole in a lot of cases. But my thing is this: we have this video by Chud Logic where he's clearly making fun of this trans lady in a provocative way. But then you go to Smash's older video where he had the thumbnail of what was basically her bare ass on the video. Do you think these two fall in the same category, or is one that going to closer meet TOS and the other one not? Is she a she, they?
Thumbnail available?
What was that?
Do you have the thumbnail available?
He doesn't have it anymore. He took it down.
Oh.
I think it was one of those cases where you put up 3 thumbnails and it sees which one does better. And I think he realized after a couple of days of him getting people like, hey, this is fucking probably the airbagged legion, that he took it down because it was definitely TOS. It was one of her tweets. Like I said, I'm not going to bring that one up. Well, you know what? No, I'm not searching through Alyssa's stuff.
Yeah, I wouldn't test the waters.
Yeah, but
I think I know. I think I know what picture you're talking about, just because I've seen it everywhere. So that's the only one that comes to mind where like there's a mirror and I think she's wearing a thong. But
yeah, she's wearing a thong, but you can't see it.
Well, would that be considered a bikini? Like, let's see. The thing is, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with you. It's just one of those things of like, I think you're right in one sense. It's like, especially in the Atraes situation, cover your ass. Censor your words. Like, use replacement words. Try to be as YouTube friendly as you can. And even when sometimes we talk about dark shit, like we do sometimes here.
Oh, absolutely.
YouTube, especially like, so like, still cover your ass, and you can still get your message across. Like, okay, where's the line? Do I put, does Smash put a smiley face where her ass is? But the thing is, wait, she's wearing a bikini, but if she wears if women are wearing bikini at the beach, that's okay for a thumbnail. It's like, okay, well, is it not okay because he has a take on her that doesn't make her look favorable with her opinions?
Or take with it though around the images though. Just while we're on that topic, like the images specifically in thumbnails, against the YouTube policy with thumbnails. Another part of it is unwanted sexualization, and that brings up the question. Although she posted the picture to like a different platform.
Right.
Is there the sexualization there? Like, I swear I've seen thumbnails with her that could have tears in her eyes, but it looked like cum. Like, I mean, straight up. And
that's funny.
Shit like that. I'm not saying it was, but I think there's comments that it was. I mean, it's a fucking.
that one can interpret as such. And let's just say like, and maybe that's someone really like pushing the boundaries there. Do I think it's okay? But you know, it's one of those things like, well, I mean, technically you could say it's here. So I'm not saying it's okay. And that's one of those things where you go, okay, YouTube, or maybe like, hey, it's clear to come. And then the creator's like, well, it's not, it's coming out of her eyes. And then it's like, okay, well, who's lying here? No one knows because we're not the thought police. We can't read people's minds. And maybe it's that's just how the AI came out. And they're like, okay, this is the one that most, you know, looks like water. You're like, you can't read people's thoughts of their intentions. And there's plenty of thumbnails that,
right?
Yeah, right. Like, what I'm saying is that as we talk and we get deeper and deeper into it, like there's not really a really good solution here other than, hey, let's have some transparency. And then there's the other side of it. Because YouTube is this massive company, we understand that they need to have bots. There's no way they would have the manpower to there's no manpower in existence that can do what YouTube does.
Right.
There isn't enough people on this planet. So like, this is why we are constantly running into this quagmire of TOS, you know, when is it fair? When is it not? You know, when does it depend? When does it not depend? And especially when we're coming on, you know, free speech, it's like, well, you said this, you know, online, I should be able to report it. I mean, yeah, I'll cover my ass. Just I'll, you know, flavor it up a little. Well, not flavor it up, but, you know, censor myself a little bit, maybe.
Church it up. I get it.
Like, okay, church it up. Church it up. Yes. Hallelujah. But it's also one of those things like, well, how much is the censorship? And the thing is that, and so many different countries around, you know, and as far as I understand YouTube, like they have their own rules for every single country. And I forget who it was that said this. I think it might have been Asmongold. He goes, one of the problems right now that we have in the West is that there's too many, and he wasn't saying whether it was right or wrong. He was saying that because there's so many subcultures that have evolved, you know, from the West, and I'm just going to do some general examples like goths, hippies, and then there's the subculture of that subculture, and there's a subculture of that subculture. Like, you're not going to make everybody happy, but we need to have these general rules at some point being like, where is the line? Because sometimes this person's okay, but sometimes it's not. And
yeah,
that's why just a tiny bit
general problem with society at large.
Yeah, but the thing is, now it's a career, and now it's also with free speech. And Trump has already said, he said this 2 years ago.
But the thing is,
when he announced, he said he wants to change 230.
So
the thing is, not everyone even believes in free speech or can agree what free speech can cover. So that's the big problem. Because people can't agree on that, there's a lot of this, the social problems we have in our society is mostly on because we can't agree on that.
And I think this lawsuit, no matter what side wins, hopefully this stochastic terrorism bullshit doesn't go through. Let's just say Smash loses, but that, because I don't see that going through.
I don't see it. I think the judge is getting frustrated.
I disagree. I think at very least it'll go to trial. I don't know who will win, but with some of the stuff I've seen, and she's trying to. My thought is she's trying to not bleed everything out before. What is it called? Before they review the discovery. She's not trying to bleed too much information out until discovery, but she's trying to meet enough that it can go there. It's an interesting case, but let's go back to section 2.
Discovery and how they.
I would too.
How they thought that I was being paid by Smash JT. Yeah. I would love to hear about that.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
I already know where they got it from, and that person made shit up too.
All right.
How much longer are we going for?
Is 30 minutes or is 12 too late for you guys? Or are y'all looking to get out? Because I usually run till about midnight.
Oh yeah, well it's midnight right here where I am. So
well, I got 30 minutes till. If you're tired and we want to kind of stop here, we can. Because otherwise, otherwise I was going to dive into 2:30 because that's kind of topical with this point.
Well, I think it's like I like because I have some stuff to do. I need to write a new
Okay.
script for a video. I need to see how my analytics are doing my new one, all that fucking dumb YouTube shit that we do
Mhm.
that we love, and then we get addicted to our dashboard and God, that fucking thing. Anyway, but either way, it was a really good discussion.
Yeah, this was
And I think
very pleasant actually, like very civil.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad it turned out this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a little fighting every now and again, but I tend to not take it as personal as other people do. So, but no, I was great.
Well, the thing is, it's like, yeah, do we have our perspectives? But I don't think that any of us were unreasonable in those perspectives. Like, I knew that you like threw some wrenches out there just to get us to think about it, Wargaming Dad. But like that was still good for the discussion. Like, it's like, okay, let's think about it in the extremes. Let's think about it in the other extreme. Like, and at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I think the only thing that I think the only thing that we've really gotten to the point is like, okay, like TOS stuff is weird, and we're all glad that maybe the legal side will just decide this for us. Like, okay, is there a clear winner? Is there not a clear winner? Like, at least the law is going to be final here. Hopefully the law like wins in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I don't know. That's my closing thoughts. Like, I mean, thank God, like none of us. Well, I'm.
Well, you are though, unfortunately.
I'm in a lot of it. I was surprised myself. I found out new things about me. It was great.
Nice. So, yeah, we got nobody giving his disposition. Dash, do you want to give yours? Your little final notes.
Well, yeah, like, basically, what nobody said, I do hope things work out, and I'm glad that I haven't been completely sucked into that or become like any, like, Melissa or even Airbag, if you're still watching. Thank you for not flagging any of my shit. But, yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. And any last words, Mcdizzle?
Good chat. Interesting to hear other people's perspectives. All civil, reasonable minds can differ on shit, and that's what people should do more often.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard subject to get into and really come to a full discourse on it. I think we still disagree on a lot of stuff. I'd have you guys back on. If you ever want to come back on, let me know. I don't mind doing call-ins too.
If you ever hosting another show.
Yeah.
What was great about it is like the thing is like I always like to say like you can disagree, but at least you could do is understand where they're coming from. And the thing is like as much as I was disagreeing with Mcdizzle a little bit there, like I understood exactly where it was coming from, and it was reasonable.
Man, I get
Perspective is key.
Yeah.
Dialogue is key.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming on. Like I said, reach out anytime. I have open chat, so if you see me talking about a subject or see me on X talking about a subject, you're free to come on in and give any discourse that you disagree with. I prefer to have dissenting opinions around me than to hug box it out like I believe a lot of these other content creators do in some of their bigger things. But I'm hoping to kind of break into that. So again, thank you all for coming by. I'm gonna stay in chat here for a little bit and see what chat breaks down on me, see if they tear into me about being too soft on you anti-wokies. All right, guys, y'all have a good
Whoa.
Man,
you too.
Wargamer, nobody, take care.
Take care.
Have a great evening, folks. Bye-bye.
All right, let me pop back over here. I think all in all, good times. Yeah, I think all in all, it was a pretty good initial chat. There was, for my first time trying to keep everything on track, I think it did fall off. Vincent, you always say that I failed. You want to come on and tell me why? Thanks, Wargaming Dad. It was a fun time. Yeah, I appreciate it. I like getting on and talking about stuff on here. So, and I think I can make some people mad. We want to get visceral. What was it? Damaged said the next one will be a Royal Rumble. If I can get Colt, whatever her name is, in here, I bet that one would be interesting. Because she seems to like to initially get after it, though I don't know that she'll ever come on my channel. Do I have time? Yeah, I've got a little bit of time if you want to come on and talk about it. Hold on, let me pull reaction group up. Pop on into the waiting room. There we go. Hey, I'm gonna pull you in here. What the hell? Why is it not? All right, I'm just pull you back here. Oops, and I just closed Discord. You should try to get Alyssa and Airbagged on. I would talk to them, absolutely. I have no problem with talking to Alyssa or Airbagged if they ever want to come on. Like, people do this guilty by association bullshit all the time, but that's not me. I'm willing to facilitate anything. Hey, Vincent, drop out of that one that I pulled you into because it's apparently fucking up. And get back into waiting room. Where is it? There we go.
Works now.
Yeah, that works now. Whoa.
Mute my shit. Okay.
Let's turn off.
You can hear me. Aren't we all just lovely family?
Yeah, one.
You went way too easily. I didn't see you get into the Birdman stuff with them. I understand why. The dude was just a much better argue against Atraes, and the fact that he's just out of the narrative is a little weird to me.
I mean, right. I don't know. Yeah, I've seen very little of it besides the pushing back. So it's not so much that I'm trying to go for. I wanted to stick specifically to the current monetization, what's allowed, what's not allowed. Like a lot of the talk was, well, they said it on this side, but not on this side. And I want to kind of to harp on that. Like, just because it's said on one platform doesn't mean it's good to go on the other. And then again, it's the way you talk about it too. I've talked about Atraes's veiled threats a lot. And I would talk to him about that. I have to look more into the Birdman stuff. Maybe I'll turn that into a segment.
I mean, yeah, you can have problems with Birdman's coverage of that. I do personally.
Oh, yeah.
I think he brought up a very good point about Atraes, the thinly veiled threats, okay, and all the other garbage that comes out of Atraes. It's really funny that he all of a sudden was whining about, when I don't talk about Alyssa, all of a sudden my views drop to nothing, okay? Almost implying it's YouTube, it's his audience, okay? They don't care about it unless he's talking about certain subject matters. And all of a sudden, she gets brought back up, he starts making more content, he gets struck. It just is really weird stuff in reality.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of it when it comes to the anti-woker side is
not having their standards.
Well,
they have no standards for themselves. They want to judge Alyssa. Yes, she's a crazy leftist as far as anyone's concerned. She simps for her son, and yeah, that's very cringe, okay? Do you want to simp for Smash AT instead?
Yeah, I mean, it's a simping fest either way. Well, my thing is like when it comes to this TOS shit that always comes up is it's suddenly victimhood that tends to be the thing. Oh, I was poorly demonetized. You look at like the Tectone thing, you look at the Kershaw stuff, it's woe is me, and it's chibi reviews. which is sad because if Chibi Reviews wasn't constantly crying about the people who are coming after him, one, it might start to slow down. Though I think he's past the point of no return with Soy Jack.
Yeah.
But
Locale status for that man.
yeah, so I mean it's just like you don't have to cry. I don't really think YouTube is as inconsistent. That's something I was trying to get by as people think. Like they clearly give out the timestamps. How much of that is just not shown by YouTubers? I have no idea why they demonetized me.
Yeah, it's hard. Sorry, they think he's a good guy, but Mcdizzle was good enough to not bring up the fact that he technically spread his docs. Okay.
Yeah, and
how you say it. Even if he was dumb enough to have his channel linked to his real thing, he owned up. It's not a dox.
Nizmir made a good point too. Smash has a real bad habit of contradicting himself. Like he brought up, he's done it multiple times. One time he brought up, Mcdizzle's docs, or light docs. Technically, it's not a legal definition of a docs, but he made his thing public. And then when Alyssa made something public of somebody that was already public, he said that's bad and that's targeting, right? You get.
I hate that shit.
Yeah, so I think that's a big point of contention with the anti-woker guys. So I wouldn't mind getting deeper into that. I don't think I think I got to get better about keeping us on subject and maybe hitting home.
It's always going to be difficult. You
Yeah.
can only manage it. You can't really control it when you have a bunch of other people on. So
Yeah.
don't get too tough about that. I'm just giving you shit like I normally give people shit.
Oh, you're good. I don't take offense. But other than all, for my first one, I don't think it was bad. I'm hoping to do more. I'm going to reach out to more creators, though a lot of them have blocked me. Indy blocked me now.
Oh, well, you wouldn't get him anyways. He's not smart enough, okay?
Well, okay, I don't know.
He got nowhere on Dash, but there are going to be some people that are going to be hard to get. And it's not about numbers, okay? Do you remember the guy who fought with Norray, who did the video on Norray, and she stupidly did one back on him?
No, I didn't see that.
Stream covering? Oh, Remnant.
Remnant. Oh, I've heard the name, but I didn't.
Yeah, she's
look into that.
Crash out after that. A minor crash out about that, but she blocked him and just moved on.
She's also kind of.
Covered that.
Yeah, she's kind of getting into this. Like she's harping back to the Veilguard stuff. Yeah, Dragon Age
is the most peak woke out of all the video games.
Well, yeah, it's definitely the easiest to point to.
Politics being shoved down people's throat in an established franchise. Yeah, that is the most blatant case of that. That is like, of course, with some of these games, it seems ultra obvious.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know if people think it's ultra obvious. I've been reading a little bit about pattern recognition. And that would tell you, the old thing of when your mom bought a new car as a kid and suddenly you noticed everyone had that same car.
Yeah, it's just something people start noticing. I've been seeing this stuff for years. Okay, you see a little bit of the stuff. If it's fantasy, okay, fine. Let the Wokies have some of this shit, okay? Make your own stuff at the end of the day. But they won't do that. They have they have to push up games like Great Rebellion. What was the other one who was arguing? Lord of the Fallen, who did the thing. Okay. And even Thomas Mahler sort of stealthily joined in with his No Rest for the Wicked. Okay, he's doing some low scale sweeping for that. But Alyssa, that was one of those cases where Alyssa came in and tried to give him an earful, and he just shoved her down.
Yeah,
I've seen crappy stuff from that man. No one's being direct about it. It's just very it's just like pandering to the right, what they've been doing to the left. The sort of woke branding crap. now the rightoids, I don't even know if they're truly right, but they definitely don't like the status quo of gaming, so they're trying to push politics like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I was, yeah, I mean, it's a clear activism style, right? It's just different than what it's just the opposite of what the woke did. And it's getting to the point with me, which I like. I want to start pointing it out more. I may start logging a little bit on stream some of these terrible takes. Are my DMs out? Look at me doxing myself already. Thank you.
Doxing Carl there. Okay.
Yeah, I was doxing Carl.
DMs. Okay, he can never trust you again.
If anyone saw anything in there, it was my John Della Rose, because I had I would say like admirable conversation with him, and he wanted me to join his Discord. I did join, but I'm probably going to dip out because it's just not. It's just more of the same stuff.
That guy. Okay.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
Engage with some of that group, like What the EGOG. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. Remember Simon in the Discord? He sent me a video about Yellow Flash.
Yeah.
I recently saw this rather right guy who's sort of a synthetic man on the synthetic man trip until the lolicon stuff. All of a sudden, I see him put out a video tagging John Della Rose, because that's his man, and also that JJ guy about his video. I keep track of some of these.
That's a whole different
creators.
Yeah, some of them I've like John. I've just kind of, I think I unfollowed him and stuff like that. It's kind of like he's become so irrelevant in that situation, in the anti-woke space, that he's down there with Andy Pants and all of them. So
just jokes. Okay.
Yeah.
Make the anti-woke people look bad, personally.
Yeah.
You're not sending their strongest soldiers.
Well,
Same with fucking Smash at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's like with that, I would disagree. I say that the anti-woker group make themselves look bad by using these guys as sources. They've been using these guys as sources for years. And then when
it's only been going on for like a year, okay?
A year. Okay, you're right. About a year. No, about a year and a half, 2 years.
I've been on this since the beginning, so I'm
losing
perspective probably.
I know it hasn't been long.
A couple months. And I had criticisms for them. Like, they kept on running. Asmongold, the Demion, a lot of these motherfuckers were saying, oh yes, the IMDb's they're using that as a source.
Yeah.
And even Smash, when Smash came out with his sort of thing about Indiana Jones, and I brought this up in my one video on him, he used IMDb as a source to try to say Sweet Baby might be involved, even Cabrutus, and even Vex Electronica, if you know of her.
Yeah.
She even called out Smash, like, IMDb is a horrible place for sources.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times can you find clips of Smash saying, well, I didn't do the research? Well, maybe you should do the research instead of just putting out poorly researched stuff and blame other people when they come at you.
when you get it wrong. Well, instead they just ignore it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to do kind of a legendary drops versus Endymion. That's going to be, well, here's the thing with that last video I did with watching that wokey, that super lefty guy that Simon put in. It makes me think that there is a point to what they said. All legendary drops does is make vague statements that I can soy nod to. He just doesn't do it in the anti-woke flavor the way
oh yeah. Sorry, this isn't common. I told you about my nemesis Kritosis. He's not truly anti-woke. not explicitly. He never uses the talking points, but if you looked at his tweets, he'll retweet all these anti-woke peoples, but he doesn't use their narrative. He just promotes them and occasionally will bring it up. There's a sort of apolitical flavor of anti-woke I've noticed. Like, I watched the live stream where John De La Rose got Smash JT on to talk about settle the beef, I guess, and Smash JT's like, I'm apolitical. Like, how the fuck are you apolitical?
He constantly talks about Marxism.
Yeah, he just sees it as a normal thing. Look, I'm not a fan of critical race theory, any of the critical theories, Marxism in reality, because I'm a modernist. They're postmodernists. That includes Smash.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like grand narratives. They build their shit off of grand narratives.
Yeah.
Bagger was saying it's a narrative. He's right, but there's some narratives that are closer to the truth. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I think the thing I have a problem with is none of these people really get down to the weeds of it when they're talking about woke game this, woke game that. It's all very broad statements. Scrum's obviously being the leader of that.
Yeah, I heard nobody talking about how he lands on rakes. Definitely a good meme from The Simpsons. Ow! The Bob one.
The Bob one. Yeah.
Sideshow Bob.
Oh yeah, Sideshow Bob.
Seen that meme? God.
I probably have, but I'm an old man who can't remember things, so
I'm an ageless man who remembers too much, but not great. We'll go with that.
Yeah. What was I bringing up here?
I think it was a good step in the right direction. I tried to do this a while ago. It just failed. I'm too abrasive, I think. I don't know how you accomplished it. You seem to be more abrasive than me on eggs.
I can get abrasive. I usually don't start really getting abrasive until I hear a really dumb statement. And it really depends on the person too. I tend to match the vibes of the people around me. You got real crazy this morning. Are you talking about me and a cult going at it? Yeah, I got a little abrasive on that one. I have to start.
You're not going to get her, okay? I challenged her and Leon a while ago when she came on my stream trying to gaslight me. Oh, Smash is just a normal guy. Why don't you go after Trent or John De La Rose? I'm like, I was the one who actually first brought up Trent was going to kill your movement with his fucking religious crap, okay? I already covered them.
Yeah, this idea that Smash is just a nice guy is complete bullshit. Maybe that can be the subject of the next one that I talk with, or maybe I can get a one-on-one with somebody who wants to go at it. But Smash is not just a nice guy. He's not, he posts lots of pictures of his kids and stuff like that, and him doing nice things. I'm nice to my kids, right? I'm not going to call my kids a slur like I'll do on X.
The only good thing about a freaking airbagger is at least he's honest. Yes, he's a complete and utter asshole, okay? Dirtbag left type of guy, but at least he's honest. Probably overly honest.
Yeah. The thing with Airbag is I really haven't looked at him that much. He's never, like, every time we're looking at an argument with the group and they're talking about Airbagged, it's usually some tweet that he's made or some meme that is getting pushed around, or him calling them a liar. Like I have yet to see.
They are liars, okay?
Yeah, I've yet to see a tweet or a post or whatever you want to call it from him that is like egregious. And I guarantee you, me and him don't agree politically.
It comes close to. Trust me, I would disagree with him politically. He probably is a simp for Hassan also. Okay, a lot of these guys are lefties. Okay, I can disagree with them on some things, like I did with Tall Black Nerd, one of the channels that sort of grew his brand off of this stuff also.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the thing. When I look at some of the people at Twitter that follow me and things like that, or will like comments regularly and things like that, I see their other posts and I was like, yeah, we greatly disagree on politics, and we would probably argue, what the fuck is this? Oh, holy shit. Okay, let's talk about this. Let's pull this up. I don't know. I have to talk with him. I wouldn't mind getting him or even Alyssa on the chat. Like I said, I could get into a disagreement with them as much as I could anyone else.
It's hard to get them nowadays.
Yeah, I'm sure. Here we go. Where am I? Where's my window capture? Boop. Let's see what this fucking has to say. The real reason the Split 2 CEO is being canceled.
We're going to address the real reason why the Splitgate 2 CEO is receiving so much backlash. It ain't got nothing to do with the microtransactions.
This is going to be
real backlash, despite what he said being the same thing we've been saying for years. The real reason why you getting attacked is because you're too straight, you're too white, and you're too male. The hell is wrong with you? It's Pride Month, what? You getting up on stage and shit, chest all poking out, arms all defined, looking fit. Have you lost your mind? Ain't no blue hair, no pink hair, no red hair in sight, no nose piercing. What is wrong with you? Talking all masculine and shit. Ain't no masculinity here, nigga. It's over, nigga. You're canceled, nigga. I'm on the phone with Alyssa right now, nigga. Airbag, Nick Calandra, you're canceled. Paul Tassi.
No, he's not. What the hell?
Yeah,
why is he bringing up the freaking...
It's over. Lost your mind, but you can't.
Why is he bringing this up? I tweeted about this earlier. Why does he have to try to... How long is this video?
Just about a minute. I mean, part of him is just playing it up.
Yeah, okay, I can't hate on him for that.
Yeah, part of it is playing it up. It's a little bit of trolling.
Who's played
Oh, hold on.
Yeah. I can respect that. I got pissed.
Is he wearing a swastika shirt?
Wow.
No, that's Adidas.
The Splitgate 2 CEO is receiving so...
Yeah, that's an Adidas shirt. It'd be funny if he was wearing a swastika shirt.
Is he really trying to push that he's being canceled? He's not being canceled.
His game just sucks.
The cancel card. You're gonna eventually it's gonna wear out. Okay, people are gonna get wise, even from their perspective. You keep on crying about cancel culture. It's gonna hurt your own fucking argument.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
I'll be typing on that later, but what I say will not probably be TOS.
She has me blocked, okay. I'm surprised I got blocked, and she hasn't blocked other people.
Don't do it. Blackout's like, don't do it. I can't help it sometimes. Let's see what she says. Dude is too straight, too white, too male, and somehow he represents a game that looks gayer than the original and apparently has $70 skins. So she's making fun of the guy for it. But
yeah, fair enough. Okay, it's not bad. Not bad. I'll give her credit where credit's due. But at the end of the day, these people are completely politically unaware. I did the whole video on Andy Pants based off of him using James Lindsay as a source. And I'm not bringing some of the woke right sort of discourse up in here, but I think there's some overlap in there. There's definitely overlap between the woke right discourse and this crap in Gamergate 2.
I mean...
The Daily Wire actually did like this breakdown of bots, and definitely the woke right has bots pushing them up in the algorithm for X. According to the Daily Wire, that is. Just putting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole thing about bots, and I mean, it's been proven that bots push political messages and all that.
Both sides, both sides have their bots. Disney bots, Russian bots. even just YouTubers buying bot likes, bot machines,
bot accounts. So Kimoji and Blackout said, funny thing that she just got. I guess Kimoji just got blocked by Smash, and Blackout's been blocked by Smash. You know what got me blocked from Smash? Is during his when he was exposed for not looking into his people correctly, he put out a post saying that we're winning, because that's always the thing they say. After a long day of winning, we like to sit in the hot tub, blah, 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 blah. And I told him, I was like, yeah, you're really winning there. Finding out that you don't look at your sources, that you refuse to see your wrongdoing in it, and a bunch of other stuff like that. And it was like, you're really winning. And he like blocked me and hid the hid the message. Maybe one day I'll get unblocked by them. I think the only way will be, oh my God. All right, I need to get X off of here before I get myself in trouble.
Yep. I think I give you enough shit. Let the old man go to bed. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give you a little bit of shit, and I can't help but going off when I'm dealing with the stupidity of these people. I mean, it's funny in a lot of ways. They're not going to fucking attack me. They're not going to fucking attack you. Okay. They're going to attack actual woke people who come off as schizos at the end of the day. And I think that's just really fucking beta male fucking material. Why didn't Atraes bring up fucking the Birdman at all? Okay? Because he's a bitch. Sorry, Atraes, if you're watching this. You're sort of being a bitch by not sort of pointing out the Birdman came after your fucking ass. I don't even know why you do that. Atraes seems like too high up for the Birdman. He's going after Gary, Critical Drinker. Then he comes down to Atraes and like gives him a bitch slap in a video. I'm not one for power dynamics. I'm not some leftist like, yeah, why are you punching down on Atraes? I think it's a little bit lame, but I understand it.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Atraes, like the guy is obviously an entertainer. I think he could, if he got away from this anti-woke bullshit and stopped being an orbiter of Smash, I think he could make a career out of him, something in his industry. But as for like the way he talks about stuff and things like that, he doesn't even get it right a lot of the times.
He just doesn't think, okay? That's really his problem. He just goes with instinct, what he thinks will be the most showy. He even brought up microtransactions in the beginning. So I could almost see that post as almost parody.
Yeah.
I don't know the intent. Figuring out the intent is something I don't fucking do. But he did bring up very early on about the microtransactions. So maybe this is sort of a joke from him.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm reading with it. It's a little bit of rage bait, right? We obviously know it's not no one gives a fuck about the hat. They give a fuck about the $145 shit that they're trying to sell. But yeah, thanks for coming by, Vincent.
Yeah, some people are mad about the hat, but yeah.
Well, yeah, retards. But yeah, thanks for coming by, Vincent. You can pop in anytime. That's what I'll learn how to switch people from one room to another. I've done it successfully once, but I want to keep open dialogue. Let some of these anybody who likes me or hates me come in.
Oh, good content if you can work it well. It can be a little bit hard if you go too far. Just saying.
Yeah. But what does Kimoji say here? Blackout says I don't block anyone. It's not that big of a deal to me. I'm the same way. That's at least what I'm going with. The only thing I might do down the road is set it so that the only people who can message me are people that I follow, just because I think that's a natural thing you should do as you start to get bigger as a YouTuber, so you don't have every shitter going off on you. So far, I haven't blocked anybody, and I don't plan to, even some of the more visceral people. I'd rather argue with you on X.
I agree with that. I'm done arguing.
I got to figure out why it keeps them up there. It should drop them back, but we'll work it. We'll see what's going on. So thank you guys for coming by. I hope you, yeah, I love arguing out there too. I hope you enjoyed it. I do think it was a little bit soft. I think we could get a little bit harder on those things. I'm going to try and do better about keeping us on subject. But y'all have a wonderful night. I might come on tomorrow because I wasn't able to come on yesterday. And I probably won't be able to come on Monday. And we'll do this thing all over again. Don't forget to like and subscribe.